B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach, Shiur Torah. B'ezrat Hashem, we are up to the MUSSAR Pirkei Avot number 97. We are, Baruch Hashem, going to start a new Mishnah today. Very deep Mishnah. There is a chance that it also may take more than one shiur. Depends on how deep we get into it. As the Mishnayot get further and further to Avot, you see that we're hearing some of the things that we heard in the beginning, the first initial chapters, but the Chachamim went into more details. When you go into more details, there's more work to, more of a breakdown for us also to learning. Talking in general terms, it's very easy. Anyone can give you a speech about general terms about anything. You know, you want to talk about the trait of happiness, good. You want to trait arrogance, stinginess, anger, whatever, all types of things. But when you go into the details, you could spend literally a lifetime just focusing on one detail, if you really go deep enough. So as we go with these, with the Avot, we see that the details get more extensive, and also, as the world around us continues to progress with the things that are happening at the end of days that we find ourselves in, there's a lot of things that are happening in the news that are also, we see, mamash, it's coordinating with our shiurs. It's coordinating with our shiurs. And anyone that's not paying attention to the details in the news can learn them from our shiurim, simply because you see how some of these things that we're learning about are much directly messages from Shamayim. It's time to learn this, it's time to fix this, it's time to do this, and so on and so forth. So today, B'ezrat Hashem, shiur will be also for a refuah shlema for Levana bat Sarah, Sarah bat Levana, Ovadia ben Levana, Doris bat Jorah, David ben Nesriya, Rabbi Ephraim ben Shulamit, Rabbanit Sarah bat Sarah, Elisheva, Chaya bat Sarah, Dvorah bat Mercedes, Miriam bat Mazal, Rivka bat Chana, Chana bat Miriam, Baruch ben Rivka, Steve Liebman ben Avraham, and B'ezrat Hashem, all of Am Yisrael will have refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf. So the thing that's shocking in the nation today, as you just mentioned moments ago, before the cameras went on, is the shooting, Shem Hachem, that happened in Florida. And like we talked about already throughout this week, Baruch Hashem, this is our fourth shiur this week. This is unfortunately, not the first shooting, but we see that the same reaction that they've had over the last 20 years of having shootings in schools all over the United States is happening again. Again, same exact thing. First, everybody is hysterical for obvious reasons. If you have a neshama, you have a heart, you're a human being, of course you're going to be hysterical. You don't cry for other people's children. Shem Hachem. Even your enemies, you wouldn't want such a thing to happen to them. But then after that, people try to break down the event. They start looking at the background of who the killer was, and then you start seeing, wait a minute, he knew he was a killer, he knew he was a killer, she knew, he knew, everybody knew he's a killer. Okay, so how come nobody did anything? The FBI knew, the CIA knew, this one knew, that one knew. The guy told it on Facebook, on this, he admitted it, he prophesized it, he put a whole billboard in the middle of the highway, I'm going to do it. So what happened? Same thing happened with every other one of these disasters, and in fact, in every single disaster. that's ever happened in all of history. You'll see in the secular world, in the religious world, always a bunch of Monday morning quarterbacks, you call them. What's Monday morning quarterback? Monday morning quarterback is the guy where, usually in football, Baruch Hashem, we don't watch anymore, but in the old days they used to play and they used to watch. All the games for the professional football are on Sunday. Most of them are on Sunday. But everybody has something to say on Monday. Why? The game's already over. So you have a lot of advice for the guy. Oh yeah, but if you would have done this, and if you would have done that, and if you would have done this. So after the fact, everybody has advice. What about before? After, it's useless. After the game's over, your advice is absolutely worth zero. The game's over. Why? If you would have... Nothing. You can't. The game's over. Monday morning quarterback. Meaning, you want to be the quarterback after the game's already over. The same thing with all of these people in the media and all of these so-called friends and family of these people. Oh yeah, you shouldn't have taken him to that school and should have lived in that neighborhood and he should have noticed this and should have noticed that. All of these different things are people that are trying to pretend like they care. And then the government pretends like they care and they host these people in the White House. And then people pretend like they care and by hosting them on their shows. And then people pretend like they care even more by having these people come speak. Oh, share with us the story that we heard 1.5 million things about already in the news by now anyway. Share with us your feelings, and everybody pretends like they care and pretends like they cry. And why do I say pretend? Why? You see some tears. It looks very much legitimate. Why, the tears are for everybody's an actor? Everybody's Hollywood? Why do I say pretend? Pretend, Rabotai, because the only way that you can really show you care is if you could do something about it. To talk about it is absolutely meaningless. And as you will notice from what's going to happen now, not a prophecy, just a simple promise of what's happened based on the track record of humankind. Everybody will cry. Another few days, a little less. Another week, a little less. Another month, a little less. 2 months, forgot about. 2 months, everybody's forgotten about. Maximum. It may be even less than that. Maybe even less than that. Everybody's going to forget the story. Everybody's going to move on with their life. They're back to the stock market. They're back to the new disaster that may happen in the future. They're back to grocery lists. They're back to, everything else. They're back to their life. At the most, whoever is really, really enamored by the story and mamash, like glued to the TV right now in the news and wants to find out, what is this parent doing? How's he going to do it? All these different things, 2 months maximum. The rest of us that are pretty much superficially just know about it through a friend, by tomorrow. Why? Everybody's got their own life. No one cares enough. Why doesn't no one care enough? Because care means you have to do something. And no one wants to do something. So you're going to see some of these actors that make themselves, or celebrities that make themselves feel good. Oh, so-and-so donated $500,000 for the campaign of not to have guns. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck stopping a $500 billion industry with $500,000. Good luck, pal. Why is he doing it? First of all, I'd be surprised if it's really his money. I'd be surprised if it's really his money. Secondly, the real reason it's a tax benefit. But it's good for publicity. Why? It shows he cares. What cares? Look, he's writing a check for $500,000. Yeah, but when you have $100 million, $500,000 is like 5 cents. But even so, the reality is he's not writing it because he cares so much. He's writing it simply because he wants more money. The guy that has $100 million wants $200 million. The guy that has $200 million wants $400 million. The people that are inviting them for the White House don't actually care. What do they care about? More publicity, good publicity. Look, wow, he picked up the baby. Oh, look, wow, he hugged the guy that his daughter died. He must really care. No, he just wants good pictures for media. When are we going to wake up and realize that the world is full of it? Full of it, Rabotai, full of it. I've seen this my whole life. And it's not going to change. Once in a while, you have a hero. Who's the hero? The guy that stood at the door and let all the kids out and reskin. died, they shot him up and made holes into the guy. That guy cared. Why? He did something about it. He did something about it. People that do something about it, they care. But how many do we have people that do something about it? If it doesn't have much money to do with it, no one cares. And that's the reality. Sometimes you see these non-profit organizations have a mission statement. We care about Yeah, but you also care about the fact that this non-profit organization gives you $500,000 a year in benefits, and another $1 million in salary, and another $500,000 under the table, and you have so many benefits that by then anybody would care. The enemies also care for that kind of money. That's why you see 98%, 98 cents out of every single dollar for the biggest non-profit organizations in the world goes to the people running it. Does not go to the actual charity. You donate $1, 98 cents, and in some cases 99 cents. Go to the people at the top for their choppers, for their planes, for their houses, for their little things that they do on the side. It has nothing to do with the miskin, little poor kid you see in a commercial in the middle of Africa that still has the same fly in his head for the last 30 years. It has nothing to do with him. Why? Because no one cares. No one cares. But it's no different with Am Yisrael, Rabotai. Unfortunately, it's no different. The families that has Shem and Hachem, what happened to them a few months ago, and a year ago before that, and 7 years ago, and all of those things, no one cares really. Why? No one's doing anything about it. Why? You think because you have a Holocaust memorial, you care? Because you built a bunch of statues for $250,000 that somebody else paid for? And you have an event, a gathering place where a bunch of people just sit there and just, think about the event. Once a year they think about the event. Rest of the year you're milking money for the once a year event. Wait, that makes you care? No, it doesn't make you care. What would make you care? Stop it. Stop it from happening again. Stop us from making the same mistakes over and over again. Stop another Holocaust from happening. Stop another tragedy from happening. Do something about it before it happens. After it happens, your advice is useless. They're already dead, miskinim. But protect the next terrorist, protect the kids from the next terrorist. Protect the nation from the next Holocaust. Oh, you're too much. Oh, you're too. Of course, there's going to be some people. No, they care. Look, they donated $10 million to so and so. Okay, is it their money? No, it's somebody else's money. They donated $10 million. They kept the other 90. The world is full of it. It's everywhere. We have to understand that we're obligated to see through the cracks, to see through the nonsense. In makom she'en ish, tishtadel liyot ish. In a place there's no leader, you be the leader. Yeah, but I'm only 20. Yeah, but I'm only 30. Yeah, but I don't speak the language. Yeah, but I don't have any money. Yeah, all the different excuses that the Yetzer Hara puts in your head doesn't make a difference. Yeah, but I don't know him. Doesn't make a difference. Get to know him. If he had $1 million for your business, would you get to know him? Yeah. Okay, so give him a CD. Why? It's worth more than $1 million because you could save his neshama by getting him to do tshuva and protect him from a real Holocaust. Holocaust that's not just in this world, a Holocaust that's forever. So, yes, it's all sad. It's all sad hearing all these disasters. But if you look at the statistics like I have, you can see, without prophecy, you can see that something much worse is coming. Not to be a bearer of bad news, Rabotai, but these statistics just keep getting uglier and uglier. I already went over statistics earlier this week. I'm only going to tell you one thing. Just one thing today, and then we're going to get into the shiur and explain how we could actually be better, how we can protect ourselves and the people around us and whoever wants to listen from disaster happening. There's a list that comes out every few years of what's the most popular names. Popular names. In America, I'm sure they probably do it every year. In Israel, they do it, I think, every few years. But this has a significance. This has significance, and the reason why is because people, first of all, they see that they're not so different from everyone else. Sometimes you'll see everybody call their kid David all of a sudden. Or sometimes you see everybody call their kid Daniel, or this name, or that name, and everybody thinks, oh, it's my unique name. No, it has nothing to do with your unique name. 900,000 people also call their kid David that year. You see that people think alike. There's also a story in the Gemara where Alexander Mogdon, Alexander the Great, was told by some Rasha that Am Yisrael wants to go against him. So he said, okay, let's go destroy them. He already took over the rest of the world. What's left? There's little Yerushalayim. No big deal. We could spit and drown it. Tiny little Yerushalayim. So he took his entire army, millions and millions of people. So somebody came to Rabban Gamliel, for the Rav. Shimon Hachem, the Satan himself is coming. He goes, ooh! Alexander Mogdon, Alexander the Great, with all of his army, with millions of people. So what is if you told Netanyahu, hey, all of the Arabs in the world, 2 billion of them are coming to Eretz Yisrael, what is he going to do? He start doing vidui, Chatanu Avinu Pashanu. What is he going to do? He's going to call Donald Trump, hey, can you help us out? If he has to call Obama too, bring him back from the dead. What is he going to do, Misken? What is he going to do? What does Rabban Gamliel, what does a Baal Emunah do? What does somebody has Emunah in Hashem? Somebody that knows that there's two worlds and one God. Not that there's one God, there's two gods in one world, like people think. There's two worlds and one God. This world and the next world, and the same God controls both. What does he do? He says, oh, he's coming. What's the mitzvah? Let's welcome him. What welcome him? He's coming with an army, with machetes and machine guns and tanks and F-16s. What do you mean welcome? Baruch haba. He's coming to visit Yerushalayim. Let's go welcome him. Do you think anybody said, sir, I don't think you understand? Nobody had a peep. Why? Because the Rabbi is talking, he knows what he's talking about. Not like today, I have a shiur one place, one time, and the rabbi says, you know what, let's delay this shiur. Let's delay it a little bit. Not everybody came yet. Let's delay this shiur another 15, 20 minutes. One guy, hey, Kvod Harav, listen, you have to teach them. Let's have a shiur right now. I'm here already. I have to learn. I got to leave in 20 minutes. He starts yelling at the rabbi. Mamash, I want to slap the guy. It's not my keilah though, so I can't slap him yet. I slapped him during the shiur though. And the shiur, I was looking at him half the time. So, Rabban Gamliel comes out with all of his people, and the night before, he's at the top of a mountain, and Alexander the Great is at the top of the mountain. The next morning, they both rest. The next morning, they go down the hill, and they meet at the bottom of the hill. Both sides, obviously Alexander has millions of people, Rabban Gamliel has a few people. Both sides stop. Alexander gets off of his horse and starts walking towards Rabban Gamliel. No one knows what to do with the unprecedented. This never happened before. What is he doing? He's just telling us to kill people. He's getting off the horse. He's putting his life in danger. For what? They see him walking all the way to Rabban Gamliel, and he bows to him like you bow to God. Gives him honor like mamash you're supposed to give to Hashem. So everybody says, Your Highness, you're bowing to some rabbi, some Jew? What is this? You're the leader of the world. Conquered every country. What is this? He says, every night before I go to sleep, there's an image that I see. It's the same thing. And every night I have the same dream, and I see the image. And I see the city, which I'm seeing right now is Yerushalayim. And I see also the image of the next army that I'm supposed to fight. And I see the battle take place, and there's a voice. There's a voice and there's an image that tells me, go fight this one, go fight that one. Because of the schut of what we're doing, you're going to win the war. And the image is his face. His face, his crown I see every night. Every battle I want is because of whatever he's doing. So, every night I see it, every night I see it. Shtabach Shemo La'ad. So, after that, Alexander asks Shimon HaTzadik, says, heard you have a Bet HaMikdash for your God. Let's put my statue in there. Let's put my statue in there. Shemerachem put the statue there. But if he tells him that, he's going to make him into a statue. What does the Talmid Chacham do? He says, nah, Your Highness, what? Statues, they don't last. They don't last. Well, it says statue. Okay, so here today, it's gone tomorrow. It may break, it may this, it may that. I have something better. It's Bal Chokhmah. I have something better. We'll make a decree. Every boy born this year, we'll name him after you, Alexander. Alexander loved this. Wow! What a kavod. Even my own people don't call their kids Alexander. And that's how we got Alexander as part of the names that's very popular in Am Yisrael. So why did I tell you this story? Thank you for correcting me about not Shimon, it's his descendant. Rabbi Gamliel is his descendant, it's Shimon HaTzadik. Because the list came out of the names in Israel. Just came out. And it said top most popular baby names. Top most popular baby names, meaning this is telling you somewhat of an insight of people's thinking. The next generation, what's coming. I remember a few years ago, it was more than a few years ago, it was maybe 10 years ago, somebody called named their kid like the like button on Facebook. So it tells you that people are metumtamim, they're stupid. So now, what would you think is the most popular, and if you saw it, don't say, is the most popular name, number one name in Israel today for males?
I didn't see it, but I think it's Nimrod because I know a few people.
No, it's not Nimrod. That was the previous generation. Very foolish people called their kids Nimrod, which is the enemy of Hashem. It literally means enemy of Hashem. Marad be'Hashem. That's the ignorance, unfortunately. Ignorance is one of the biggest poisons we have in our generation. But here we have something worse than ignorance. It actually got worse. The name Rabotai Karim, the number one name in Israel today is Muhammad. Number one name in Israel right now for babies is Muhammad. Do you understand where we're at? Do you understand? It might as well call him Nimrod. At least we have a chance. He's connected to the Torah. Number one name is Muhammad. It means two things. Number one, it's obviously a lot of Arabs in Israel. And number two, it means they're having a lot more kids than we are. Number three, we're doing nothing about it because half the government is terrorists. In America, it's not that much better. In America, many Jewish people have Christian names. Many Jewish people have Christian names and they don't even know it. They call their kids names based on the Christian New Testament, Avodah Zarah of the Christians, thinking it's okay. Whoever has a Christian name should make it a priority to not only remove that name from their life, but to make sure that he does it or she does it as soon as possible. Mashiach shows up and you have a name like Jesus or something like that, or like John, or like Paul, or like any one of these names from the New Testament, it's not going to look that good. It's not going to look that good. The saddest part is that many of these people actually have Jewish names, they just don't use it. Why? They're embarrassed of their Jewish names, like I used to be. I'm also a victim of this too, of this stupidity. I was also stupid at some point. Still trying to do tshuva for my stupidity. My name is Yaron, but in the business world, you start telling Americans, Yaron, 20-minute conversation of how to pronounce it. They'll say every other name except the right one. Even to this day, people send me emails. You're asking me for help. They're sending me emails. Oh, Rabbi, whatever they say. Almost 90% of the emails misspell the name. It's mamash funny. Reuben, Ruby, Yuri, Yari. I don't understand. You're writing me an email. The email itself sends my name. You can't write the same thing. It's insanity. What can we do? It's my kaparat avonot. Why? Because in a business where I said, you know what, let's save some time, let's take off the first two letters. Yaron is Y-A-R-O-N, let's take out the first two letters, Ron. But by the way, it's not good to have a short name. According to the Kabbalah, it's not good to have a short name, it means short life. So, if you have a Jewish name, use it. That's what Hashem knows you by. And your last name is insignificant. In Judaism, there really isn't such a thing as a last name. That's only something that's a modern creation. In previous generations, there was no such thing as a last name. Your last name was whoever your father was. So it would be, if let's say your father was Avraham and your name is Betzalel, it would be Betzalel ben Avraham. That's your last name. That's how we know which. If there's three Betzalels, we know that this one is Betzalel ben Avraham, this one is Betzalel ben Yaakov, and this one is Betzalel ben David. So that's how we know it's three different Betzalel, and that's what you see in the Gemara. But if you are one of those people that every other day you're adding a new name to your life, a lot of people like to add, every time they have a problem, they have a flat tire, they want to add another name to their life. They got a cold, they're adding another name, Chaim. They have a asthma, they add another name, Amos. They lost some money in the stock market, they add another name, Donald. Every day they add a new name. Problem with adding all these names, first of all, it's not the dat Chachamim. It's not what the biggest Chachamim in the world recommend. It's just, they told you maybe you could add one name. One. They didn't think that you'd start being a machmir in this mitzvah, and you have 37 names. Now, sometimes people write me an email, half the email is the name. The other half is what they want. Just to remember the name, I have to learn it. Learn the name, to remember the name. So, you have to know that if you have multiple names, you have to go by all of them. It's not just like, oh yeah, really my name is Stacy, but the real name is Stacy, Stevenson, Wilma, Sarah, Rivka, Aaron, Moshe, David, Shlomo, Smith. No, you have to, you have multiple names, you have to use all of them. When you say bracha, somebody gives you a blessing, you have to say the full name. So, better not necessarily to have all these names. If you have it already, but you have to use all of them. Also, when you name kids, people, it's become a tradition, mostly in the Ashkenazi world. Some Chachamim have done it, like some of the biggest Chachamim in history have done it also. But today it's become more of a modernization of us. People give their kids middle names. Many of them do it because it creates less problems. Why? Because as soon as a kid is born, everybody wants the kid to be named after them. And if let's say you want to name him after the kid, the husband's family, then the wife's family is like, oh, putting cherem on you, you're out of the will, we hate you, we never liked you anyway. What happened? It's just a kid. Oh, we're going to have another kid. No, how come it's not this one? Oh, it's because you really never liked me. It's Hashem and Hashem, kaparat avonot for one kid. You don't want to have kids anymore. Not because you don't want kids, because you don't want to deal with the headache of the families. You name it after the wife's family. Craziness. How many craziness happens because of all these names? So a little solution is, you would think it's a solution, people started adding middle names. So one name from the father's side, one name from the mother's side. You think that would solve the problem? Not a chance. Why? Oh, how come his name is first, his family, they're not so good, we supported you more, we should be the first name, he should be the middle name. It's always a problem. Why? It's not Torah. When there's no Torah, there's only problems. When there's no Torah, there's only problems. Just like the bull. The bull that they threw Yosef HaTzadik. It says it has nothing in it. What does it mean it has nothing in it? All it has is snakes and scorpions. When a house has no Torah, what does it have? All it has is snakes and scorpions. That's it. All it has is snakes and scorpions. Not like if there's no Torah, there's something else that's good. No. If there's no Torah, all it has is snakes and scorpions. Fights, dilemmas, Shem Rachem, another Shem Rachem, Kaparat Avonot. That's all you have. And people keep trying to, no, but maybe if I make more money, it's going to solve the problem. Or maybe if I get married, it's going to solve the problem. Or maybe if we're going to have another kid, it's going to solve the problem. Or maybe if we just throw out this kid, we're going to solve the problem. And they keep trying to solve the problem with everything except the solution. The one cure that we have is Torah, and no one wants to use it. So, Rabotai Karim, the cure is here. For all of these attacks, for all of these disasters, for all the kaparat avonot, it's called Torah. Now, many people could tell you, listen, I learned Torah, but I still have problems. I didn't say that it solves all your problems. I said it has a solution. The Torah has the solution. Meaning, the Torah is going to tell you who's running the world. Once you understand who's running the world, you already know where it's coming from. So already knowing and having a diagnosis already helps half the battle. The second thing is the Torah is going to teach you how to deal with it. How to deal with these problems that you have, whether it's financial problems, marriage problems, and so on and so forth. And this is the things that we need to learn. The problem that I see, and this is not a new problem unfortunately, it's just getting worse every day. We've gone over this entire series, is that there are some people, Baruch Hashem, that learn Torah, but you see them as people not really changing at all. In some cases, even getting worse. So how could this be? How could the same Torah that takes some people out of Gehenom and puts them in Gan Eden, the same Torah instead is used and puts these people in Gehenom instead? How could it be? So this Mishnah, we'll talk a little bit about that, Bezrat Hashem. So the Mishnah in Avot is 5:9. It says, Shiv'a dvarim begolem, v'shiv'a bechacham. Chacham אינו מדבר לפני מי שגדול ממנו בחוכמה ובמניין. ואינו נכנס לתוך דברי חברו, ואינו נבהל להשיב, שואל כעניין ומשיב כהלכה. ואומר על ראשון ראשון ועל אחרון אחרון, ועל מה שלא שמע אומר לא שמעתי. ומודה על האמת וחילופן בגולם. Translation: 7 traits characterize a golem, and 7 a learned one. Meaning, 7 characteristics that characterize an uncultivated person. A golem, the Chachamim explained to us, is something that's like incomplete, undeveloped. Undeveloped wisdom. And 7 character traits for a wise person, a learned person. Just give him the whole dish so you guys can stop. A learned person does not begin speaking before one who is greater than he is in wisdom or in years. He does not interrupt the words of his fellow. He does not answer impetuously, meaning he doesn't break into the conversation. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I got it. You guys didn't finish the sentence yet, and he's already completes his sentence without anybody asking him to do it. He asks relevant questions, and he replies appropriately. He discusses first things first, and last things last. And about something he has never heard of, he says, I never heard this. And he acknowledges the truth. Sees emet, he goes, that's emet. It's emet. And the reverse of all of these 7 traits characterize the golem, that uncultivated person. So the pshat, you don't need my help with. It's very simple. It means a lot. But obviously the series and what we're trying to do is to learn the details behind the details. And how could such a learning help us not only save ourselves from a Holocaust, both a physical and a spiritual one, but also can help save the world. If only people would actually implement these things. So first thing says that there is a difference. There's a difference between a golem and a hacham. There's a difference. The term golem is an uncultivated person, which is meaning it's someone that was given a God-given talent, given intelligence. He has a brain in his head. He's not, chas v'shalom, a Baal Mum. He doesn't have any some type of retardation or deformity or any type of thing. He's a normal person. He has a brain in his head, just like everybody else. That brain can think. Some people have a special ability with certain subjects over the others, but in general, Hashem gives an equal playing field for all. But this person decided that he's not going to utilize his intellect. Decided he's just going to get by. It's on a coast. So, well, if there's 24 hours in a day, I mean, I'll study for an hour a day. But you have 24 though. Okay, no, 45 minutes. No, it just went down. No, go, it's supposed to go up. Okay, we'll go back to an hour, okay? It's like doesn't matter what you tell them, stays the same. Want to coast, want to chill out, want to hang out, want to enjoy life. Yeah, but you have a brain, Baruch Hashem. That brain, you could create worlds with that brain. Become big Talmid Chacham. Could be somebody successful and Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Yeah, but that's Hashem. Maybe when I get older. I get married. No, I just want to relax a little bit. Oh Hashem, I have it easy right now. I mean, it's okay. What's the problem? Why? Why are you pressuring me? Says this person, the Gemara Masechet Kelim, or it's Mishnah's Kelim, 12:6 says, this is like an unformed vessel. What's an unformed vessel? No one has put any work into it to perfect it. Just like this golem did not perfect himself intellectually and morally and socially. He's just leaving it as is. Whatever I got. Yeah, but if you work at it, it can be better. It's enough. Whatever I have is fine. But you should wait. Doesn't it say, well, who's happy? Someone's happy with his share. All of a sudden they remember that halacha. I don't know that. You should be happy with what you have, no? Okay, that's what I got from Hashem. That's what I got. What's the problem? What? Hashem gave me 100,000. That's it. I'm going to sell for 100,000. Hashem gave me $1 million. That's it, $1 million. Hashem gave me a wife. Hashem gave me one kid. Yeah, but maybe you could try for another kid. Maybe you could try for happier marriage. Not just to have a wife like she's a statue in the house. Maybe have a happy marriage too. It's not just getting married is half the battle. Staying married is the other half. It's okay. You know, this lethargic mentality, which unfortunately is a very, very big issue in this generation. They call them the millennials or whatever they want to call them. The Mishnah calls them Golem. Also has a name for them, Golem. How do you know someone's a Golem? You ask him something. Give me a chidush. Give me something. Tell me whatever. It doesn't make a difference about something. It could be Torah. It could be your business. Whatever it is that you're doing in your life. What is it you do in your life? Oh, I work on Wall Street. Oh, I work in real estate. Oh, I am a plumber. Whatever it is that you do with your life. Give me something. All of a sudden, they're like confused. What do you mean? But this is what you do all day. You don't know anything about what you do? What about things you don't do? Confused. They don't know how to answer. They don't know how to hold a conversation. They're confused. You ask him, okay, can you show me something? Oh yeah, and he starts looking at the papers everywhere. There's a post-it here, there's a post-it there. There's no organization whatsoever in their life. I think it's just like everything is everywhere. How do you function like this? Oh, when I need it, I find it. When I need it, I find it. That's the typical response. When I need it, I find it. I remember in college, I went to Binghamton University in upstate New York, and I had these two roommates in the first semester. I mean, cleaning or providing anything of any substance for the good of the room was not part of what they were taught. If they were there, you knew it. If there was food, it didn't matter if it was theirs. They took it. I'd bring food after there was a break. I'd go to my parents. My mom would give me enough food for a semester pretty much. Within 2-3 days, gone. What happened to the food? Oh, it was yours? Who else was it be? There's 3 of us. You didn't bring food. He didn't bring food. Who else brought the food? Oh, it was yours?
We're hungry.
I was hungry. I was hungry. Why, you want me to starve? What kind of person are you? They blame you now. It's your fault. Disorganized, confused, they function improperly, they're like out of place, they don't know where, who, what, when, and how. It's like an unfinished product. Like I remember, when we do different products you have to get samples. So the manufacturer sends you samples along the way before he gives you the finished product. He has to show you, okay, so we did this. And you get the sample, goes, no, this is wrong, this is right, this is this, and you keep going back and forth. Whether it's the CDs, or it's posters, or things we did in the past, and so on and so forth. Now, when you get the product and it's unfinished, you look at it, it's like, I can never sell this, I can never give this to anybody. It's unfinished, the head is missing, the arm is missing, the eyes are missing, there's no writing, something, it's a golem, it's unfinished. Mishnah is telling us here, this is people. People that do not develop the talents that Hashem gave them. Hashem gave them the brain, they don't develop it. They stay exactly the same. But he's not talking about somebody that didn't, he learned and he's a doctor now. Oh, if he's a doctor, then he developed. No. This is not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about if you have intellect to become an architect or a doctor or a lawyer and you passed a bunch of tests. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. When David HaMelech in Psalm 139 verse 16 says, Galmira einecha, your eyes, meaning he's talking to Hashem, your eyes saw my unshaped form. What unshaped form? He had millions of dollars, he was a king of Israel. Baruch Hashem, every wife is a tzadikah. What's the problem? What do you mean unformed? David HaMelech is unformed? Melech Mashiach is unformed? What do you mean? Telling us it has nothing to do with money. Has nothing to do with money. Has nothing to do with your profession. Has nothing to do with whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or a king. It has to do with your midot. It has to do with your character trait. Are you still lazy? Are you still angry? Are you still cheap? Are you still a person that has 1% emunah and 99% nothing? It's empty. Bor she'en bo klum, it's a hole that has nothing, just emptiness. 1% emunah. When do we have emunah? When we see the money in the bank. If there's no money in the bank, no emunah. David HaMelech says, Galmira einecha, Hashem, I have to do tshuva. David HaMelech has to do tshuva, he says. Why? I have to work on my midot. Chacham, on the other hand, is a learned person who uses these virtues that Hashem gave him, whatever he gave him, whatever basic material he was given, he developed it. It's like you have one guy was given a pile of clay. Pile of clay, and the other guy was given a pile of clay. One guy says, okay, this pile of clay is like a little mountain. Oh, he pokes 2 eyes in it. You put a smiley face on it. Finished. Finished. You put two eyes, nose, mouth. He made something that kind of looks like an arm, but not really. Something that looks like a leg, but not so really. That's it, finished. And he put a couple of stripes on the top to make it look like his hair. That's a golem. Meaning there's something there, but everybody knows it's a golem. It's unfinished. The other guy, the Chacham, he put the shape, he cut here, he cut there, he took this piece off, that piece off, it's unnecessary, it's too much, it's too little, it's this, he put color on it, he heated it up, he twisted, a lot of different things. How long it take? A lot longer. But when you see it finished, looks like a real human being. That's Chacham. That's a Chacham. What do we learn here, Rabotai? What do we learn here? We learn something that if you understand it, it changes everything. We understand when you tell somebody, do you know anybody that's a Talmid Chacham? Do you know somebody that's a Chacham? Automatically you're thinking about, who knows the Gemara by heart? Who knows the most things by heart? Who gives shiur Torah? Who has a long beard? You're thinking about who knows the most. You're thinking that a Chacham is someone, wisdom, is based on intellect, how much you know. You go to a guy's house, you see a whole wall over here, a whole wall over there, a whole wall over there. It's like a little Bet HaMikdash of Sfarim. Even though they're all brand new and no one actually ever opened them, still you see a lot of Sfarim. So, this guy's Talmid Chacham. Wow, look how much Sfarim he has. You know how many Sfarim I tell people, you have to do tshuva. He goes, you know how many Sfarim I have? I said, good, you have Sfarim, you have books, it's good, you have to read them though. Buying them is half the battle. It's nice to have Sfarim, it's good, Baruch Hashem. Hashem gave you Sfarim, Hashem gave you books. Half the battle is buying them. The other half is reading them. The other half is a little more difficult. You have to read the books. A lot of people buy books. Every day they buy books. You see people put on the internet, oh yeah, look, I just added this new book to my collection. They announce to the whole world of how many books they buy. Well, you don't see this. I'm the only one that sees this stuff. Why, I'm the only one that has kaparat avonot. Every day I see somebody posting, look, I got this book or that book. You see the guy got a box, Baruch Hashem. He has money for the books. A box full of books. He got this book and that book and this book and that book. And you're seeing the same pictures regularly. Already 6 months, a year, 2 years, the guy every so often has another box of books. What don't you see? You don't see any change in the person. He has a library full of books, but the same neshama hasn't changed. Nothing changed. Same bad midot, same stinginess, same excuses, same laziness, same person. Nothing changed. I have a couple of people, Baruch Hashem, I'd say it's very difficult. They have, Baruch Hashem, I think they have maybe 3 or 4 times the amount of books I have. Now I try when I try. I'm not perfect with this, but I try that whatever books I have, I try to read them. And Baruch Hashem, we try. I have a few people. Seriously, I think, I haven't seen it, but from what they tell me, pretty much they have everything that I have, plus 2 to 3 times more. Mamash, like a library of books. But yet, the same questions. Nothing changed. The same, no emunah, no bitachon, no yirat shamayim, still bad midot, still everything, nothing changed. They tell them, oh yeah, I read it, I remember, I have that book. Read it. Read the book. Sometimes people read a little bit of the books, but they're like, chafif. They read a page here, they skip 50, another page here, they skip 70, they page here, they skip another 30. Oh yeah, I went over that book. Well, you went over the book. 5 pages, not going over the book. There's 400 pages. You have to read all 400 of them. And even the 400 is not enough. Why? You have to actually, mamash, understand what it says. Not just read it to tell people I read it. People, I read that book. No, so what did you learn? I don't remember. What do you mean? You read a whole book, you don't remember what you learned from the book? Why'd you read it then? You read the whole book. Yeah, I read the whole book. Look. You open the book. I read it. Okay, no. So what did you learn from the book? No, I don't remember. What do you mean you don't remember? How do you not remember? Nothing? You don't remember anything? Oh yeah, it said something about Moshe Rabbeinu. I said everything in the Torah says something about Moshe Rabbeinu. It's called 5 books of Moses. If it doesn't say something about Moshe Rabbeinu, it's not Sefer Torah. Well, it doesn't say Moshe Rabbeinu. Oh yeah, it says Rabbi... Akiva is a guy's name Akiva. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Ribono shel olam. You ask the guy, why do you have all these books? Sit down, take your time, understand what you're reading. It's not a race. If it takes you 30 times as much time to understand, let it take you 30 times as much time. If it takes you a whole week to read 1 page, but you understand the page, let it take a week. Who are you racing against? What do you think, just having the books makes your house holy? By the way, there is a da'at Chachamim, there is actually an opinion by the Chachamim that specifically with Gemara, you should not have any tractates of Gemara you're not reading in your house. Meaning, you shouldn't buy the whole set before you actually buy 1 book at a time, 2 books at a time, 3 books at a time. Don't have too many unread ones in your house. It's not good. It's a kitrug. Specifically with Gemara. Maybe with other books, but I know specifically with Gemara. So, we learned something extraordinary here, Rabotai. We learned that the word Chacham, a learned person, has nothing to do with knowledge. If you tell somebody, Tamid Chacham? Yeah, Tamid Chacham, everybody's Tamid Chacham today. Anybody that is in favor of wigs, Tzaddik, Kadosh, Tamid Chacham, Holy of Holies, Chaver Shel Malachim, he's friends with angels. Hey, they give him anybody that's okay with wigs, he's the Gdol Ador. Anybody that says any pirush on his own opinions usually, or he tells you what the Arizal said about Kabbalah, oh yes, a holy of holy, Kodesh Kodashim, Tamid Chacham, he doesn't even know Halachot Shabbat. Tzaddik Bala'ir, let's kiss him like kissing a mezuzah, this is Mashiach, everybody's Mashiach by the way. Every day is a new Mashiach. You guys notice this? You guys don't get those emails? Every day is a new Mashiach? There's at least a few thousand of them in the world today, Mashiachim. A lot of Mashiachim. It also says at the end of the day there's going to be a lot of Mashiach Sheker. There's always a fool. So, it says Chacham Rabotai, wisdom is not based on knowledge. Wisdom is based on midot. Wisdom is based on your character traits, not on your knowledge. Why? Because only your midot, only your character traits can prove if you're wise because of the knowledge that you have. It's very deep. If you learn some books, but you're still the same lion, giraffe, hippopotamus, you've learned or you didn't learn, nothing changed. Doesn't make you wise. You can just tell people you read those books. Chacham b'da'at Torah is someone that used the Torah, used the wisdom from the Torah, and perfected himself. He learned about Moshe Rabbeinu, not just the story. Oh, Moshe Rabbeinu was humble, I have to be humble. Moshe Rabbeinu was generous, I have to be generous. Moshe Rabbeinu was stopped being angry, he never got angry again, I have to do it. Same thing. He didn't just learn the pshat of the story of Moshe Rabbeinu was great. He learned, how could I be like Moshe Rabbeinu? That's Chacham. And that's why anyone that's a real Chacham is called Talmid Chacham. What does it mean, Talmid Chacham? He's still learning. He's still learning. But a Golem is the exact opposite. He doesn't want to learn. Or if he learns, he just goes one ear, out the other. Why? He's like, I'm fine as I am. He's not interested in developing himself, taking advantage of an opportunity. He's fine, everything's fine. What's wrong with me? No, tell me what's wrong with me. Tell me what's wrong. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. And this, Rabotai, is a sin. Why? Hashem didn't bring you to the world to be a golem. Hashem brought you into the world to be Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem brought you to the world to be Aaron, a Kohen. Hashem brought you to the world to be Sarai Imenu. Hashem brought you to the world to be Mashiach. How do we know? It's a source. In the book of Psalms, Sefer Tehillim, chapter Tehillim 105, verse 15, says, Al tig'u b'meshichai v'lenevi'ai al tareu. Says, do not touch my anointed ones, meshichai, and my prophets don't harm. Don't touch my messiahs, and don't harm my prophets. But we know that the Mashiach is a prophet. So why is it mentioned twice in the same verse? So first and foremost, we should learn that one of the things that the Goyim continuously make a mistake is about the word Mashiach. The word Mashiach is not an actual person. Mashiach is an activity, something that took place. And we actually learn it from this week's parasha, Parashat Tetzaveh, in chapter 28, verse 41. Hashem Yitbarach tells to Moshe Rabbeinu, והלבשת אותם את אהרון אחיך ואת בניו איתו ומשכת אותם ומילאת את ידם וקידשת אותם. It says, with them you shall dress Aaron. He's talking about all the vestments of the Kohanim and so on. With them you shall dress Aaron your brother and his sons with him, and you shall anoint him, inaugurate them, and sanctify them. So here we don't see, wait, you just said Mashachta. Mashachta comes from the same word Mashiach. That's the root of the word Mashiach. So what does Mashiach actually mean? Anointed, chosen one. What's the relevance of Mashiach? The actual activity of Mashachta is you would put oil on them. You will inaugurate them by putting oil on them. There's a special holy oil that was only allowed to be put on the Kohanim and also on the king. And that's when David HaMelech, before he became David HaMelech, the prophet came to his father. He said, oh, one of your sons, Hashem sent me to inaugurate one of your sons. One of your sons is the new king of Israel. It wasn't like today, there's no election. One of your sons is the king of Israel. He's taking over the position from Shaul. Shaul is getting thrown out. He's made a sin, he made a problem. Hashem decided he's no longer king. One of your sons, Ishai, one of your sons is the new king. Okay, so Ishai had some great sons. Each one of them was good looking, was tall, strong, Talmid Chacham, Tzaddik. So maybe it's the oldest one. So he tries to take the oil, the special oil, pours it on his head, doesn't come out. The oil is defying gravity. It will not leave the bottle. Okay, it's not him. Tries to put the oil on the second son. The oil again, it's open, everything's open. Oil stays in place, doesn't leave the bottle. Third son, fourth son, every one of the sons, nothing. Oil will not leave the bottle. The prophet says to Ishai, he says, it's not them. You have another son. He goes, no, it's my sons. He goes, what, you think Hashem made a mistake? You have another son. He goes, oh yeah, there is another son. He's with the sheep. He's with the sheep. He's not, it's nothing special. Little short guy, red hair. Not even sure if he's really my son because of what happened and how he was brought to the world. Bring him. Bring him. As soon as David enters the room, the oil is on the other side of the room. It's on the corner of the room. The oil flies out of the bottle miraculously, and David flies in the air miraculously, and the two join. Memashachta. And that's why the Tehillim says, this is what you read with on Rosh Chodesh. On Rosh Chodesh, you read the Alel. And you read all these different things for Rosh Chodesh. And this, one of the Tehillim says, this we know is the hand of something that Hashem did. It's time to celebrate. What is it with Hashem? There was no doubt that David was a melech. Why? A miracle just happened. Look what happened. Oil went against gravity. David went against gravity. Everything. So, Mashiach comes from the word Mashachta. So, that's how the Mashiach is selected. It's not an election. No one is going to have a doubt for all of those people that are wondering if their rabbi is the Mashiach, if he died, if he's still alive. He's not the Mashiach. Why? If he was the Mashiach, it would be no doubt. Just like there was no doubt that Moshe Rabbeinu was the prophet of all prophets, because Hashem promised, I'll talk to you in front of everyone. Just like Hashem said to David HaMelech, everyone will know. Everyone knew. Why? Look what happened. No one said, hey, no, this is, he's not. Look what happened. We saw it with our own eyes. Even more so at the culmination of this world, when the Mashiach arrives, it's not going to be some people agree is Mashiach and some people disagree is Mashiach. Everyone is going to know this is Mashiach. But some will choose to fight him. Still, even though they know he's Mashiach, some will choose to fight him. The Erev Rav will choose to fight him. They don't care about what the Torah says about them losing. They don't believe in the Torah. They believe there's some guy, he calls himself Mashiach, we're going to kill him. Why? He's ruining our Olam Hazeh. He's telling us we have to do tshuva. So, Rabotai, Tehillim says, Al tig'u b'meshichai, v'lenevi'ai al tareu. Says, don't touch my Mashiachs, and don't harm my prophets. Why does it say Mashiach and prophet if both are the same? A Mashiach is a prophet. A prophet could be a Mashiach. Not all prophets are Mashiach, but the Mashiach is a prophet. So why does it say the two? Rabbi again, Allah Shalom, gave me this chidush, Tabach Shemolad. It's a phenomenal chidush. What's the chidush? Here he's not talking about the Mashiach per se. He says, don't touch my Mashiachs, plural. And don't touch my prophets. He's telling you it's two different things. The prophets are one thing, don't mess with them. But my Mashiachs also don't mess with. Who's these Mashiachs? Tinokot shel bet Rabban. Babies, little kids. Don't touch them. Why? Every single one of them has an opportunity to be the Mashiach. Every single child has an opportunity to be the Mashiach. You have no right to remain a Golem. You have no right to remain a ksil, a fool. You have no right to remain undeveloped. You must develop yourself. Why? Hashem says you have a potential to be Mashiach. You have potential to be Mashiach. You have potential to be the best. You have no right to coast. You came to work in this world. Adam le'amal nolad. In the book of Job, Job tells us, a person, what was he born for? To work. What work? On Wall Street? On real estate? No, to work for Hashem. To work for Hashem. How work? Work till you get to become Mashiach. Work till you become the most religious person, most connected person to Hashem that you know. That's a Chacham. A Chacham is someone that understands this, that heard this, is now going to start doing tshuva, real tshuva, not coasting tshuva where he's just a chiloni that keeps Shabbat. He likes Shabbat because he gets to eat 19 meals. He could gain an extra 20 pounds every week, or she can gain 25 pounds every week. Every week she looks like she's more pregnant even though there's no kids and she's not even married. She likes Shabbat though. Why do you like Shabbat? You have to be Mashiach. You have to be Sarah Imenu. So how to be Chacham? Chacham is, you have to start taking this knowledge you learned from the shiur Torah and start applying it. That's why I tell you guys always write stuff down. Why? There's no way you can remember everything I'm going to say. I don't remember everything I'm going to say. You have to write stuff down. If you watch a shiur multiple times, it's even better. Why? It's a lot of information. It's a lot of information. Mussar is not like halacha. Mussar is not like halacha. If, let's say, for example, I tell you right now, okay, halacha is you're not allowed to drive on Shabbat. It entered. You accepted the information. Finished. You don't have to delve on it. You don't have to think about it. Are not allowed to drive on Shabbat. I tell you, oh, you're not allowed to play with your phone on Shabbat. Not allowed to turn on your phone on Shabbat. Not allowed to touch a pen on Shabbat. Not allowed to write on Shabbat. Not allowed, all these different things. Halachot. Okay, information enters, finished. You don't have to think about it again. It enters, accepted, finished. That's halacha. People love studying halacha because it's easy. Why? Information comes in, information enters, accepted, finished. All you got to do is remember it. Mussar is worlds apart. Why? Because Mussar is not, I have to tell you, oh, okay, you can't be angry. You say, oh, can't be angry, entered, okay, I'm never going to be angry again. Alvai. Alvai, it works that way. Okay, can't be cheap, not allowed to be cheap. Okay, I'm not cheap anymore, I'm generous. So who wants money? I have a bavis. Who wants money? Who wants? No, Alvai works that way. Mussar is something you must have to think about and meditate over and think about and meditate on and think about and meditate on and review and review and review and review for 7 years for each character trait. 7 years for each character trait. Rabbi Yisrael Misalant, who had Ruach HaKodesh, was a huge Talmid Chacham. He said it's much more difficult for me to fix one midah, one character trait, than to finish the entire Shas. And finish the entire Gemara. If you do Daf Yomi, you finish the Shas once every 7 years approximately. It's even more difficult to fix one midah. Why? It's not I just learn about anger and I'm no longer angry. It's not like I just learn about laziness and I'm no longer lazy. It's not like I just learn about generosity and all of a sudden I'm the most generous guy I know. I took food off my plate and gave it to a homeless guy. No! It takes time, it takes effort. That's a Chacham. That's a Chacham. Why? He learned it, and he's trying to find different ways to apply this knowledge. Apply this new wisdom. That's a Chacham. And that's how we know that wisdom is not based on knowledge, but rather it's based on midot. If it was based on knowledge, if wisdom was purely based on knowledge, the whole Mishnah would look very different. Why? It would say that a learned person is someone that has a lot of information. That's it. End of Mishnah. Just read a lot of books. That's it. Finished. Unfortunately, there's many people in the world that have read a lot of books, but are worse than horses. There's plenty of people that read tons of books. Some of them have written many books. If you look at him, you look at the pig, same thing. They still have no manners. They still eat like they never saw food before in their life. You still ask them for a favor. They make it seem like you want them to give birth. All types of things. Mamash, it's like kaparat avonot to deal with this person. Why? But you wrote 10 books already. What's wrong with you? Didn't apply the information. I write it because I know the information, not because I'm applying it. They know the information. They read it in a book, but it's superficial. It's like telling a story about Harry Potter. You know, going into the story and believing that some kid actually really flew in the air on a broom or something. It's nice, whatever, it's entertainment. And that's why I always tell people, sometimes people tell me, oh yeah, you know, I listened to what you said in this clip or this shiur. I was very offended. So, shalom, I offended a Jew. Shalom, what did I say? Oh yeah, you said a mechalel Shabbat, mot yumat. Oh, I said, oh, that's Torah said it. Yeah, but it's not right. What do you mean it's not right? Go tell God. What do you want to tell you? Go complain to Hashem. It's not my fault. He didn't ask me for permission. Yeah, but I was very offended that you said that, somebody that's a mechalel Shabbat, you can't drink their wine if they give it to you. Because my father didn't keep Shabbat, so what, I can't drink his wine? It's very offensive what you're saying. I said, in the beginning, I tried to explain to them this, but sometimes the person's a ksil. Ksil is like a tembel. It's like somebody that's a fool. He just doesn't understand. You tell him. Doesn't understand. Doesn't matter what you tell him. You can tell him this way, that way, top, bottom, left, right, in, out, north, west, east. Doesn't make a difference. You can tell the guy in every way, in English, in Hebrew, in every language possible. Start inventing languages. Talk to him in emojis. Talk to him in emojis. He still doesn't understand. The guy, ksil, doesn't understand. So what do you do then? I say, I'm sorry, listen, I can't help you. I can't help you. Why? You don't understand. It's not that I didn't try. I tried. No, I'm very offended. Listen, I'm not looking for fans. And that's usually the response. I'm not looking for fans. Because they always threaten, oh, I'm not going to watch anymore. Don't watch. Will you do me a favor? Not looking for fans. Oh, I'm not going to donate. You never did before, you never did now. Who cares? Don't donate. Oh, I'm going to tell people. Tell people. What are you trying to tell? I'm not looking for fans. This is not a talk show. It's not a talk show. I'm not David Letterman. I'm not looking for ratings. Whether there's going to be 100 people that watch it or 100 million people that watch it, I did what I can. The rest of it is up to Hashem. You want to better yourself? Listen to the shiur and apply it. You want to remain a ksil? Don't watch. Stay ksil. There's plenty of place in Gehenom for you too. What's the problem? What do you think, I'm looking for fans? And that's the problem, Rabotai. When you tell some of these things to most people that speak today, and some of them call themselves rabbis, and you try and listen, what you said is very offensive, what happens? Mamash, seconds later, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I didn't do, no, I'll come out with a new video and I'll fix it, and some of them come out with like a correction letter. Yes, what I said in this video about Shabbat may have been offensive to people, but you know, it's in halacha, but I didn't mean to, and I'm sorry. What do you mean? What are you sorry about? Is that what God said or not? Is it your opinion or is it God's opinion? If it's your opinion, you should say I'm sorry. If it's God's opinion, you have no right to say I'm sorry. But why do people say I'm sorry? Because they're looking for fans. They're looking for popularity contests. They know that if they say I'm sorry, more people are going to, oh, look, he's so sensitive. Look, he's one with the crowd. He really wants people to be attentive and watch him. Yeah, he wants he wants you to be more generous. That's all he wants. He cares less about whether you do tshuva or not. Just do tshuva on one thing, give more money. That's why all religions have one common mitzvah. Whether it's idolatry from the Christians, idolatry from the cow in India, idolatry from the snakes, idolatry from the Buddhas, idolatry from everywhere, even Muslims. Every religion has the same mitzvah in common. One mitzvah. What? Give money. But Am Yisrael, Am HaKodesh, that has the truth, doesn't need to care about tzedakah. Why? Need to care about tshuva. That's what every single prophet came to the world to do. He told Am Yisrael, do tshuva. Every prophet. No exceptions. Every single prophet came to the world to tell Am Yisrael, do tshuva. What did they do many times? Kill them. Did he care? No. Why? I came here to do tshuva. That's it. If that's why I came to the world, to help people do tshuva, that's it. That's it. Well, but they're going to kill you. So what? They kill me. They're not going to like you. So what? They don't like me. So what? It's not a popularity contest. You're not looking for ratings. You're not looking for YouTube views. You're not even looking for donations. You need it, Hashem will provide it. And that's what people simply just don't understand. If you want to be a speaker, you have to understand you have a huge responsibility. You can't just speak freely and think you could just give your opinion. If your opinion is not one with God's opinion, you're not allowed to state it. You're not allowed to state it. But unfortunately today, all we hear is people's opinions. People's opinions of what the Chachamim really meant. Even though the Chacham said wigs not allowed. Chacham said not allowed. Yeah, but maybe he meant allowed. We don't know, but he said not allowed. Yeah, but maybe he meant allowed. But he said not allowed though. Yeah, But maybe, just think about it. Be open for a second. No, come on, don't be so much. Just be open for a second. Maybe he meant it's allowed. No, but he said not allowed though. But maybe he meant not. It's the same thing 500 times. It's like mamash, 10 bit, they won't understand. Not allowed, it's idolatry, it's not sanua, it's 1.5 million other things. Not allowed. But maybe meant. The same question 500 times. In different ways. They changed the language. No, but the Lubavitcher said it's allowed. No, he didn't say it's allowed. He said something else is allowed. Idolatry is not allowed for any posek. No one says it's allowed. And everybody wants to say this. Why? Because it makes you popular. My Rav said one time, listen, you want to be Gdol Ador? It can make you Gdol Ador in a week. Gdol Ador in a week. Tzaddik, Mikubal, everything. Come out with a writing or a lecture about how great wigs are. That's it. Come out with a lecture. Tell everybody it's allowed to do wigs, and tell everybody that all you need to do is sgula, just come up with anything you want, and just call by some Chacham's name. No one's going to check anyway. Make a string, make a this, finish. Every time you go, halls will be filled up. Halls will be filled up. They'll call you tzaddik, kadosh, this, they'll kiss your hand, everything. And just tell them, tzaddik, kadosh, Baba Sali, Baal Shem Tov, Moshe Rabbeinu, wow, it's an honor to meet you. That's it. That's all you gotta do. In this generation, that's all you gotta do. Everybody's a tzaddik, everybody's tinok shenishba, no one has to do tshuva, and everybody's allowed to wear wigs. The longer the better. Be machmir. Wear it to the floor. Show them what you really got. Show them what you really got. So that's this generation, Rabotai. That's this generation. Everybody that wants to be popular talks about either the easy mitzvot that even the goyim do because it's just common sense, or they talk about things that make people feel good about themselves. But in reality, no one does tshuva. So now that we learned that a hacham, a learned person, is not just someone with knowledge, but someone that actually applies this knowledge, we have to see where it's used in the Torah. So the next part of the Mishnah says, Chacham אינו מדבר לפני מי שגדול ממנו בחוכמה ובמניין. It says there's these 7 character traits. There's these 7 character traits that either make somebody, just put it over here. Thank you. There's these 7 character traits that is either going to make a person a Chacham or a Golem. Same price. And the Mishnah is teaching us that the manifestation of these 7 character traits will make you one or the other. These 7 things. And then it starts doing something that's unusual for our society. Which is, it starts talking about the 7 character traits in the positive perspective. Meaning, instead of, it says 7 character traits for a golem and for a learned one. And the learned person does this, and the learned person does this, and the learned person does this, Learn. The Chacham does all these things. Doesn't say anything about the Golem. Why? Number 1, because the Golem is the exact opposite, which is what it says at the end. And number 2, one of the things that the Torah tries to teach us is to always look from the positive perspective of things. When it says that you're supposed to teach Torah and it has to be sweet for people, you have to look at things in like a cup half full type of mentality instead of a cup half empty. That's the other argument. The more direct meaning of what I'm trying to tell you, what Rabbeinu Yonah is trying to say, is that in reality, the fool, the golem, it's nothing to teach him anyway. There's no point of talking about him. He's not learning this Mishnah. The Golem is not learning this Mishnah. Golem is don't know, playing PlayStation or something. He's not learning this Mishnah. Why even bother talking about him? We already know that everything that he doesn't, he wants a shortcut. The Chacham is who have to worry about. Why? Because that's what we're trying to be. We're trying to be like the Chacham, not like the Golem. Golem, don't learn the Mishnah. That's how you be a Golem. Don't learn the Mishnah and don't apply it. Finish, you don't have to do anything. Just don't learn and don't do. Or learn and don't do. Whichever one you want. Learn, meaning you waste your time and not do. Or don't learn. Either way, you win as a Golem. But you want to be Chacham, this is what you have to do. You have to learn and you have to do. So it says the following. First character trait of a Chacham is he does not begin speaking in front of someone that's greater than him in wisdom and in years. This is something that's almost unfounded in our society today. Why? Everyone likes to be heard. Some people talk just to hear themselves talk. Do you ever see those people? Do you ever meet somebody like this? They talk so much, not because they care about anything, just want to hear themselves talk. There was one time, a guy in a yeshiva didn't let anybody talk. Half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. A table full of people. It's not a lecture. It's not a lecture. Table full of people. Every time somebody starts talking, he starts talking over him. No, but this, but you don't know what you're talking about. It's one of those people. Very strong personality, if you will. And one of the big hachamim was there. And he sat there, learning his Gemara. But he overheard this guy talking the whole time for an hour or 2 hours. And then after 2 hours, the guy says, oh, you know what? What I just told you, I actually heard it from Rabbi so-and-so. And immediately the Chacham said, liar, liar, he never said it. Everybody was shocked. Whoa, he didn't say anything for 2 hours, now you're calling the guy a liar? Why on this point? How do you know? How do you know he's lying? He's naming a big rabbi. Why, he's lying in the rabbi's name? So the guy said, look, for the Rav, why you call me? All of a sudden the guy went into his little shell, became a turtle again. What happened? Why you call me a liar? He goes, liar, he never said it to you. He goes, how does the Rav know? He never said it to me. He said it to me. He goes, no way. 2 hours, you never let one person talk. How are you going to ever let a rabbi tell you anything? There's no way you heard it from him. Sometimes people just like the sound of their own voice or despise everybody else's, whichever one comes first. But they talk and they talk and they talk. It says the sign of a Chacham, a character trait that we all have to work on, is to learn how to not speak in front of someone that's higher wisdom than us, higher in years than us. Where do we learn this from? There's several examples. In a Parashat Shmini, Sefer Vayikra, the book of Leviticus, chapter 10, verse 16 to 19, Moshe rebukes the two remaining sons of Aaron HaKohen, Elazar and Itamar. He rebukes them. Why does he rebuke them? They burned the goat on Rosh Chodesh instead of eating it. But in reality, all they did is they did the right thing. They were right for doing it. They followed Halakha. And they listened to what their father Aaron said, this is what you're supposed to do. But Moshe thought that what they did was a mistake. But they didn't respond. Who responded? Aaron. Aaron HaKohen responded. And Aaron HaKohen told Moshe that no, this is actually the right thing to do. And Moshe, without being embarrassed for a moment, said, Tzadakta, you're right. You're 100% right. I forgot. Hashem actually said this specific thing. You're 100% right. Moshe admitted to his mistake, and Elazar and Itamar remained quiet. They didn't respond to Moshe, and now they didn't need to. So the Chachamim ask, why didn't Elazar and Itamar respond to Moshe? Why do they have their father? Why is their father always going to be there for them? He says that Elazar and Itamar are teaching us this lesson. What's a Chacham? Someone who doesn't speak in front of somebody that's higher wisdom than them. First and foremost, their father was present. Who are we to speak if this giant is next to us? If he sees something wrong, he's going to say something. Aaron is here. Forget about the fact that he's our father. Aaron is here. He's a Kohen Gadol. We're going to talk and he's not going to talk. Chas v'shalom. I'm going to talk and not my rabbi. Chas v'shalom. Yeah, but he's rebuking you. Doesn't make a difference. He's here. If he sees something wrong in what he's saying, he'll deal with it. If it's right, he won't say anything. If it's wrong, he'll say something. Second thing is, who are we to respond to a rabbi like this and tell him he's wrong? He's the rabbi. The Gemara says you must fear your rabbi like you fear God. Fear your rabbi like you fear God. People yell at their rabbis today. You tell the rabbi, tell them, listen, you got to learn Torah. You got to do, hey, rabbi, relax, rabbi, relax. Take it easy, take a chill pill. Come back to me tomorrow. I'm not going to donate any money. The rabbi is turned into an employee, Hashem Elechem. And not even a good one. They tell him what to do like he's the cleaning lady. It's not, they don't treat him with any respect or anything. Not that you should disrespect cleaning people, but the point I'm trying to say is that people treat the rabbi like he's a slave. Elazar and Itamar says, who are we to tell our rabbi, Moshe Rabbeinu, anything? He said, Kadosh, even if he's wrong. Kadosh. Why? He's the rabbi. He has much higher wisdom than us. Of course he thought about what he said before he said it. Yeah, but it's wrong. It doesn't make a difference. It's not possible that we're right and he's wrong. Yeah, but you know it's wrong. It doesn't make a difference. He's the rabbi. Later on, maybe at a different time, we'll ask him in a different way. For the Rav, by the way, we saw this, maybe... But now, he said something, he's rebuking us. Shh. Accept it, do tshuva. Accept it and do tshuva. So the sons of Aaron stayed quiet. And for that they get rewarded that Aaron actually spoke on their behalf and they actually ended up being right. Because it would be disrespectful to speak in front of their father and also in front of their teacher Moshe. Tiferet Israel takes it a step further. It says, even if you know Torah, Shulchan, you learn Torah all day, all night. You shrecha. You're in a kollel. 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, whatever it is. You're talking, somebody's saying something. You have a discussion. The guy next to you is a bigger Talmid Chacham than you. It's not like it's down. No, he's learning for 20 years, you're learning for 19 years. He's bigger than you. Why? If you're Chacham, you let him talk. Why? Be a learner. Talmid Chacham. A Talmid Chacham. Learn from the wise. Learn from the wise. Don't speak so much. His incisive mind is no competition to one who has the authentic tradition. Meaning, you learned for 19 years. He learned for 19 and a half. He learned for 20. You learned from some rabbi about what the rabbi said. He learned from the rabbi. You learned through a third party. He learned from the actual party. Different world. Different world. A lot of people like to mention different rabbis' names. Oh yeah, I heard so-and-so this, and I heard so-and-so this, and a lot of people heard. Okay, but did he write it anywhere? And some of the biggest mistakes are made about people mishearing things. And that's what we don't learn halacha from hearing things. We learn halacha from books. Oh no, but if you would have heard the speech that the Lubavitcher Rebbe said about wigs, you would know. If you would have heard what so-and-so said about this, you would know. Did he write it anywhere? Yeah, he wrote that it's okay to wear a wig over here, but he also said you should wear a mitpacha too, he said. He also wrote that too. No. Let's focus on the other one. Because he said something else in a speech. Where is it in the speech? Where is it? How come nobody can find the speech? How come nobody can find the speech? The letter we can find. For both sides. But that's why you have to know what actually was written. The other thing that the Chachamim say in Gemara Masechet Kiddushin, page 33a, that it's not only not to speak in front of someone that's greater in wisdom than you, but also not to speak in front of someone that's also older than you. Older than you. Has more life experience than you. Because of course, we're not talking about somebody that's is just an old, crazy old man that never learned how to read. Talking about, Baruch Hashem, you learned, he learned. By default, he has not only superior knowledge, theoretical knowledge, but also experience, life experience knowledge. And even if he didn't, he's not Talmid Chacham, you should still have respect for him. Where do we see this from? From Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu in Sefer Bereshit, chapter 31, verse 27, when Lavan Lavan was a Rasha, no question, no one ever thought Lavan was tzaddik. Even his name was a lie. Lavan Rasha came and accused Yaakov Avinu after 20 years of working for him. He accused him of stealing this, that, everything under the sun he accused him. And it says in verse 27, Vanyan Yaakov vayomer leLavan. And Yaakov answered, and he told Lavan, meaning, he waited for him to finish. He didn't interrupt him. Even though everything he said is sewer. Everything that he said is wrong. He's accusing him of this, he's lying, he's a this. He's older than me. He's older than me, let him finish. Let him finish what he says. So here we see that it's not necessarily just the wisdom, it's also age in general. When they say respect your elders, it's not just to get up on the bus and let them sit. It's a lot more than that, which they don't even do this generation. They don't even do this generation. Let's get in. Rashi and Meiri take it a step further. It says, even further than wisdom, even further than age, between rabbis. Between rabbis. How are you going to measure who's a bigger Talmid Chacham? He wrote a book, he wrote a book. He studied for 20 years, he studied for 20 years. He has a beard, he has a beard. Beard doesn't make you smart, by the way. The goat has one too. It's free. So how are you going to decide? Who's going to speak first? Gemara Masechet Ta'anit, page 7, says, who has more students? Who has more students? Why? Because we learned from David HaMelech in Psalm 119, 99, Mikol melamdai iskalti. I learned from my students, from all my students. I learned from everybody. Everybody was my student. I was the student of everyone. Anyone who wanted to teach me something, I learned from them. Learn from everyone. A good rabbi learns from everyone. Someone that has the most amount of students also has the most amount of teachers. Why? Because all the students ask questions. One student's asking about talat mishpacha, another one about midah, another one about kosher, another one about midot, another one about halachot Shabbat. Everybody has questions. Another one shlom bayit. Now, if you have 6, 7 students, then you're going to have 6, 7 different people that you're going to learn from because they're going to ask you questions. And even if you know the information, it sharpens up your brain. Because you're not always, the stuff is not always here. If you don't think about it regularly, it goes in the back of the brain. But your student reminds you, hey, tefillin, where do you put it? You put it here or you put it here? You could put it here if you want, but it's not mitzvah, meaning nothing happens. All you want to do, if you put it over here, is you're going to sign up to the zoo. They're going to make you the new animal over there in the zoo. The new karnaf. Isn't it karnaf? Karnaf. Karnaf. How's a karnaf in English? Karnaf. How's a karnaf?
Bull? Not a bull,
Rhino.
right?
Rhino. You go to the
You just told him.
the guy from Cuba that's learning Hebrew is teaching the Hebrew speakers. Srecha. The rhino. So if you put the tefillin over here on the forehead, over here, or you go to the zoo, they're going to make you the new rhino. Why? It's not a mitzvah. All you are is a little rhino. Why? Because Torah says you have to put them between your eyes, not between these eyes. The eyes in your head, the eyes over here. You have to put the tefillin over here, and the box has to end right where your hairline is. If you're bald, then you have to remember where your hairline was. If you put the tefillin like many people, put it on your forehead, all you are is a rhino. You didn't do mitzvah tefillin. Bemet. There's a lot of rhinos in the world. A lot of rhinos. Tefillin over here though. So, if you don't see this, you don't have students, you don't see this stuff, you think that maybe you're a rhino. But when you have students, you see them, and you correct this one, you correct that one, it reminds you of the halacha, of where to put the tefillin. It reminds you of halachot Shabbat. It reminds you of all the questions that even if you learned it, maybe you learned it last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the student asked you, sharpening up your knowledge. So a rabbi that has the most amount of students must have the most amount of wisdom. Why? He has the most amount of questions to deal with. It's not easy. It's not pashut. So that's what the Rashi and Meiri say. If there's two that are alike, they both studied for 20 years, they both have kitad, everything the same, you have to look at who has more students. Who has more students? That's the one that speaks first. That's the one that is the bigger hacham. Why? Because he has more students. That's why the Gemara says that I learned a lot from my rabbi, I learned a lot from my chavruta, but the most of what I learned from my students. So now, the next thing that the Mishnah says is Ve'eno nichnas letoch divrei chaviro. The Chacham does not interrupt the words of his fellow. Does not interrupt him. He listens as, let's say they're talking about something, throughout the entire time that the other person is talking, it's irrelevant if he's a bigger Chacham, or he's a fool, or he's a rabbi, or he's a student, it's irrelevant. Another person, the Chacham will let him finish what he says. He will never interrupt him. Even if what he says is wrong. The Chacham will not interrupt him. He listens without interrupting him, waiting courteously until the speaker finishes his point. And before refuting or commenting on what he says, this is according to the Rambam and Rabbeinu Yonah. Why? Why don't interrupt him? Today, that's how you win a debate. You interrupt everyone. They highlight people on TV that know how to win a debate by interrupting everyone. You see the two potential presidents, the two elites of the world, they don't let the other guy finish at all, not even one sentence. They have to yell at them, like two little kids. No, let her finish. No, let him finish. No, let her finish. What, you guys don't know anything? Read this Mishnah, not to interrupt people. But that's how I win the debate, if I interrupt him. If I let her talk, people are going to believe her. So that means you're full of it too then. Why are you so concerned about her finishing? Because maybe what she's saying is true. Why are you so concerned about him finishing? Oh, because maybe what he says is true. And if he finishes it, they're going to believe him. Because it's true. Oh, so what you're saying is not true then. So all you're trying to do is win the debate by confusing the audience. Not because your information is true. When one party interrupts the other, they're not interrupting because their information is true. They're interrupting because they fear the other party's information. And part of the reason why you subconsciously interrupt the other person is because you want to confuse them. You may not even realize that you're doing this, but when you're interrupting the other person, part of the reason is because you're trying to confuse their thoughts. Why? Because now they're talking, and you just jumped in the middle of the sentence. Of course, they're going to lose track of thought where they are because you're talking now. Now they not only focusing on talking, they're focusing on listening. Even if they don't want to listen to you, they have to listen to you. Why? Because you're talking. So it becomes very difficult. And the Torah says that a hacham never does such a thing. A learned person never does such a thing. Why? First and foremost, if it's someone that is very upset. Let's say you have one of these people that's a lefty liberal, that doesn't like one of the things that's on the shoe. Oh, I got really offended when you said that the kippah is supposed to be big. My kippah is the size of a quarter, but it's very colorful. What's the problem? I was very offended that you said that my kippah is not good. One guy told me this. I was very offended. So the guy said, I want to talk to you. So I answered the question. Then he said, I want to talk more. And he sent me a Megillat Esther. So after that, I stopped answering. I don't have time to read Megillat Esther every day. But I let him vent a little bit. Why? A learned person, that's the job. Job is when you know the person is really talking to you, not because he has real information or truth, or he's even searching for the truth. Part of the reason of why he's so vocal is because he simply wants to vent. He has frustrations. Maybe he wasn't hugged as a child. Maybe he realizes that he's a fool. Maybe he realizes that you're the one, you were referring to him when you talked about a rhinoceros, because he wears his tefillin over here. Maybe all these different things. He realizes he's the guy that you're talking about, indirectly, but you're talking about him. He's very upset. The hacham will let him vent. Let him talk. Let him vent his feelings. And then talk back. After he finishes it. After he finishes it. Because sometimes there's certain types of people, I learned this from Rabbi Fine, there's certain types of people that it's mamash a mitzvah to listen to them. It's a mitzvah to listen to them. Not because it's wisdom. Everything they say is shtuyot. Everything they say is complete nonsense. But it's a mitzvah to listen to them. Why? No one else is going to do it. They have built up frustration. No one is listening to them for 5 years. No one wants to talk to them. No one wants to nothing. You want to do chesed? They want to tell you something? Listen to what they say. Not because it makes sense, not because you're going to learn anything. Just be the ear. You don't have to agree, you don't disagree, nothing. Just listen to what they're saying. Just be there. Just be there. It's a mitzvah. Don't do this all the time, obviously. But the point is some people have mamash. They have a lot of frustration. They need to talk to somebody. And if they don't talk, it could be the mamash. They're going to die. It could be pikuach nefesh. Not a joke. Mamash, seriously. They have so much frustration in their hearts that if they don't get it out and somebody's not going to listen to them, they can mamash die. It could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a sister, a brother, a neighbor, a colleague, whatever. Some people have a lot of frustration. They need somebody to talk to. Now, if the guy talks nonstop all the time, don't worry about being here. There's no mitzvah over there. If the person you see, this person is, he doesn't talk much, or no one really ever wants to listen to him, or whatever it is, and you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes even to do chesed, chesed is not money, it's free. Just go listen to him. Go listen to him. That's assuming you're not in the middle of learning. So, sometimes with certain people, there's a chesed to do such a thing. But the key is to not debate them, just to listen. If you're gonna torture them by debating them and telling them everything they're saying is wrong, you're not helping them. So now, next thing is that it says an intellectual debate, whether it's with a colleague or a student or so on, if one person interrupts the other, what are they showing him really? First of all, it's unfair. Second of all, it's arrogant. To interrupt the other person and not let them finish. Why? First and foremost, you're already assuming that everything that's going to come out of their mouth is wrong. How do you know? You haven't heard everything. Yeah, but I knew where he was going. What, you a prophet? No, I used my common sense, but how do you know? You don't know for sure. You're guessing. Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe the way he thinks is differently the way you think. And at the end, he was going to get to the right answer. So interrupting him because you think you're right, already that shows that you have a lot of arrogance. Second of all, it's unfair. Maybe he needs to complete his thought. And a lot of times, I myself, I know, complete my thoughts through speaking. Many times, I have the chidush while I'm talking to you. I had a part of it at some other point, but while I'm talking, it's completed. So you interrupting him, you just stole his chidush. You just stole the completion of his point. And in Shemaim, they're going to judge you for that. A chidush did not come to the world because you don't know how to hold your patience. You don't know how to hold yourself. The next thing is that it shows that you dislike the person. Why? You have zero concern whatsoever for what they want to say. All you care about is yourself. Which shows that not only are you not a Chacham, not only are you arrogant, not only are you selfish, but you also have a few other bad midot to go along with it, if that's not enough. Now this, if just we finished the Mishnah here, we're not even halfway or a third way done. If we just finished here, right here, and everyone applied what I just said, myself included, Mashiach would come. Why? There'd never be shlom bayit problems. There'd never be any problems at all. Why? Everyone would just listen to each other. Once you start listening to each other, all of a sudden the world starts to make sense. All of a sudden there's less arguments. All of a sudden you like each other more. All of a sudden you're noticing that they respect you more. You respect them more. All of a sudden the world around you changes. Why? Oh, that's what he said. Of course, he's been trying to say for 20 years. You just never let the guy talk, me skin. One guy comes to a Rav and he says, Kvod Rav, I want to get a get. I can't take it. My wife is up to here. I need your help for the Rav, please. No, I don't want to make it too difficult. Do this. Don't convince me otherwise. I'm finished. 20 years of this woman, I know I'm going to Gan Eden. It says in the Gemara, bad wife, you don't see Petach Gehinom. You don't go to Gehinom if you're a bad wife. I think 20 years is already a bad life with a woman. That's enough. I don't need to do my whole life. The Rav says, okay, listen, just one last thing, please. Just for one last thing. No, for the one last thing, 30 days. Oh, okay, 30 days I'll do. Okay, 30 days. 30 days. 30 days. Hey, I'm going to go to my room. I'm going to get something special for you because I know you're serious. I'm going to get something special for you because after you use the stuff I never taught you before. You know, we always want to talk about Kabbalah and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you. No problem. Oh, I want to get a divorce. He's teaching me Kabbalah now. It's good. The rabbi comes with a little container, a little small bottle of water. He says, this is special water. Now, you have to drink a small, tiny sip every day as soon as you enter the house. As soon as you enter the house, drink the sip. You want that's it? No. Now that's it. That's half the battle. The other half is you're not allowed to swallow it for 3 minutes. What, it's going to clean my teeth? What's it going to... Don't ask, it's Kabbalah. Kabbalah. 3 minutes, hold the water in your mouth, and then swallow it. If it doesn't work after 30 days, no problem. I'll remind you about the get. No problem for the Rav. No problem. He takes the magic water, he goes home, he knows in 30 days he has a get, or he has a magic trick. Whichever one comes first, same price. After 30 days, he comes with his wife, she both hand in hand, like they just got married. Oh, kapara alecha, kapara alech, you're the best, you're the wow, ooh, ah, little lovebirds, little doves. For the Rav, I don't know where you got this water. My husband is the best husband in the world, and I want to say it from the deepest heart. I'm telling you, for the Rav, you are a Kabbalist. You, mekubal, for the Rav, we have to make lectures all over the world with your name, and you have to sell this water to people. People pay millions for this water, for the Rav. I'm telling you, my husband's a new man. The husband says, you know what, for the Rav, I never agreed with her for 20 years. Right now, I agree with her. I'm a new man. 20 years. Best wife in the world. I never understood. Wow, she's amazing. Please, Kvod Rav, let's start a business. We can make millions off of this. Tough economy. Bitcoin's up, Bitcoin's down. We got to do something. The Rav says, yes, it was Kabbalah. What Kabbalah? Kibalta it. You just took my suggestion. What suggestion? I gave you a bottle of water that I filled it from the faucet. He goes, what do you mean? I filled it up, the bottle, from the faucet. Regular water you get from the ground. So how did it work? He goes, no, nothing worked. All I knew is that you needed to be quiet for 3 minutes. All I knew is that as soon as you got home, your wife needed to speak her mind. Miskena, she was dealing with the kids all day. Once climbing the walls, once climbing the beds, once climbing the roof. This one's breaking, that one's breaking. Our friends are enemies. This is that. All she wanted is somebody to hear Miskena what she has to say for 3 minutes. And you don't let anybody talk. You want to talk all the time. I said, if you're quiet for 3 minutes, shlom bayit. So if you have the water in your mouth, you're not speaking, so you have to hear her. Shlom bayit. Shlom bayit, Rabotai. Smart rabbi. That's a hacham. That's a hacham. So here we see if people simply allowed each other to speak, life would change. Life would simply change. Avot Rabbi Natan says that, where do we learn this from? God himself. When Hashem told Avraham Avinu, Avraham, I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Avraham said, but Hashem, what if there's 50 tzaddikim? If there's 50 tzaddikim, I won't destroy. What if there's 45? If there's 45, I won't destroy. What if there's 30? If there's 30, 25. Why didn't just Hashem just jump to the guy? Listen, Avraham, I love you and everything. Thank you very much. Is nothing there? I know, I saw. I'm God. I'm God. I don't need you to remember 50, 45. Nothing. Zero. Even Lot is safek. Even Lot I'm only saving because of you. He knows already Hashem. What Hashem needs is a... But Hashem, let Avraham talk. Hashem. It doesn't get better than that. Hashem, let Avraham talk. Why? You have to say something. If Hashem let Avraham talk, how come we don't let our rabbis talk? How come we don't let our parents talk? How come we don't let our wives or our husbands talk? Hashem, let Avraham talk. Doesn't get better than that. So here we understand that it's mamash. Listening is much more critical than speaking. Rav Wasserman, Alav Shalom, taught his son a very critical lesson. He said, in the earlier part of your years, instead of trying to find answers to the questions of the Tosfot, this is the deeper part of learning Gemara and so on, instead of looking for the answers, focus on the questions. Meaning, listen to what Tosfot is saying and try to understand the question itself. The answer, focus on the answers later on in your life when your brain is not as strong. When you're old already, old man, you don't have the strength of a young man to go and do and get to the truth. You're old already, you don't have it. Then go focus on the answers. That's the easy part. Of course, Tosfot is right. Now focus on understanding the answer. Understanding the question itself. Understanding the question itself. Rav Baruch Leibowitz had a student come to him who said, Kvod Harav, there's a question, he wants to give the rabbi a chidush. He goes, there's a question from Rabbi Akiva Iger. And I believe that the answer to one, he says the question. The question is, And I thought about this question, and I believe that the answer is, well, 1 second, hold on a second. He tells the student, 1 second, let me enjoy the question of Rabbi Akiva Iger first. And then I'll hear what you think is the answer. Let me enjoy the real question of the Chachamim, and then we'll listen to the answer of whatever you think is the answer is. The Chachamim, we know it's right. We know the question, and the answer is right. What do you think? Maybe, hold on a second, let me enjoy the question first. The question is critical. Why? There's a Mifchar Apninim reminds us of a famous quote, She'elat Chacham, Chatzi Tshuva. If it's a she'ela, if it's a question that comes from a Chacham, the question itself is already half the answer. If the she'ela is from the Chacham, already through the question itself, you answer half the question. When it's not a Chacham, it's like, what color is the sky? Simple question. The Chacham, when they ask questions, they're deep questions. You could already, from the question itself, see that there's a lot of different moving pieces. And this is actually one of the famous stories in the Gemara, in Gemara Bava Metzia, page 84. It says that after Resh Lakish died, he was the Chavruta of Rabbi Yochanan. After Resh Lakish died, they had to replace the Chavruta of Rabbi Yochanan to a Chavruta for many, many years. Very sad story. And they tried bringing different Talmidei Chachamim to Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan would say something, and the Talmidim would say, oh yeah, you know what, here's a proof of what you're saying, you're right here, yeah, you're right, I agree. Everybody says, Kadosh, whatever he says, Kadosh. He threw them all out. He goes, Resh Lakish, I would say one thing, he'd ask me 24 different opposing questions on the one answer that I provided. You just give me 24 proofs of what I already said. What do you think, I don't know your proofs? I need why I'm wrong, not why I'm right. Why? I'm searching for the truth, not to be right. I'm searching for the truth. Whether I'm right or not is irrelevant. The truth is more important than whether I'm right or wrong. I'm looking for the truth. Resh Lakish helped me arrive at the truth by asking me 24 different questions that put my answer in jeopardy. And if I can't answer those questions, that means I'm wrong. You just tell me I'm right. You're not helping me get to the truth. You just tell me I'm tzaddik. Thank you very much. I don't need you to tell me I'm tzaddik. I need Hashem to tell me I'm tzaddik. You tell me I'm tzaddik means nothing. I need Hashem to say I'm tzaddik. How do I get to be tzaddik? I have to search for the truth. The next thing it says, the Chacham ve'eno niv'al le'ashiv. The Chacham does not answer impetuously. Sounds similar to what we just said, where we said he doesn't interrupt. But this is slightly different. Rabbeinu Yonah says that a learned person is never in a rush to answer somebody. You see, sometimes I make this mistake often. So this is definitely just for me. Probably you guys don't make this mistake. But somebody asks you a question, right away, answer the question. Something when you know the answer. Somebody asks you a question. You already know the question. Already halfway through the question, you know the answer. If you heard a lot of questions in your life, halfway through the question, or even sometimes 3 words into the question, I already know what your question is. And instead of thinking about the question again and making sure that the answer is right, you answer right away. Like computer. You go on Google, what's the population of America? Google spits out 400 million. You want to be Google. Lo tov. Lo tov. Lo tov. No good. No good. No good. Why? A Chacham is in no rush to answer. He listens carefully, allows the other person to present all of his arguments. Even all of his arguments put your argument at risk. Your wife is telling you all the things you did wrong for the last 25 years, which is putting your situation at risk. Why? You're looking worse and worse every 5 seconds, because she's reminding you of every sin you made in the last 25 years. You forgot about it already. All you remember is the last week. She remembers the last 25 years, by the way. Your wife is never going to forget. She may forget the grocery list. She may forget to change the kids. She may forget a lot of things. But what you did wrong for the last 25 years, no chance in the world she's going to forget. And every second you're letting her remind you, wow, you're looking worse and worse every second. But if you're Chacham, you let her talk. You let her talk. Chacham lets the other person talk, present all of the arguments, and only after thoroughly weighing the merits of his case, meaning your argument, you've weighed everything you're about to say, you weighed everything he had to say, everything that was said, then you offer the answer. Even if that takes a week, or it takes a minute, you have to breathe. Breathe a few times before you answer. Don't be Rabbi Google. Don't be Rabbi Google. There was one time a fool that was hired to be a bookkeeper. Looked good, wore a suit. Scan the Balabai, the owner of the place, they didn't know this guy's a fool. He hired him. So he's a bookkeeper, he's responsible for numbers and so on. After a little while, he asked the bookkeeper, hey, by the way, quick question, what's 300 times 150? 300 times 150. Immediately the bookkeeper says, 7. Now the guy didn't know the answer what 300 times 150 is, which is 45,000 by the way, but he knew it's not 7. He knew it's not 7. He says, hey, no, 300 times 150. 7! No. Hey, Tembel. 300 times 150. 300 is already bigger than 7. 150 is already bigger than 7. Times each other. How much? 7. Wait, something wrong with you? Because listen, maybe it's wrong, but what do you think about the speed? Aren't you impressed by the speed? That's a ksil. That's a fool. That's a fool. He's worried about how quickly he answered you, not about whether it's right or wrong. Not whether he's right or wrong, Rabotai. A Chacham, a wise person, assesses all of the information. Before he gives you any answer. He does not give you any answers until he knows every single shape, way, or form, every way you can put. Now the problem is, Rabotai, is that there's nothing new under the sun. That's what Shlomo Melech says 7 times in the book of Ecclesiastes. And in Mishlei, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 12, He says, ראית איש חכם בעיניו, תקווה לכסיל ממנו. Shlomo HaMelech says, have you ever seen a man that's wise in his own eyes? There's even more hope for the fool than him. Many people think that they're very smart. Much, much smarter than what they really are. Shlomo HaMelech says, yeah, we had them also 3,300 years ago. He goes, the guy that thinks he's smart, the one that thinks he's smart, he views himself as smart, the fool has better hope than him. The fool has better hope than him. The guy that thinks he's smart. Not the guy that really is smart. The guy that really is wise, Baruch Hashem. But the one that just looks smart in his own eyes. There was a rating. Everyone rated. He's not smart, but he's convinced he's smart. He's convinced he knows everything. He's convinced he's better than the rabbi. He's better than the poskim. He's better than everybody. He knows everything and everybody else is wrong. He's Moshe and everybody else is Korach. Shlomo HaMelech says that person, even a fool, has a better chance than him. The ksil has better chance than him. Why? Why? Why is it so dangerous to be fake smart, even more so than a fool? You look at the previous verse in Mishlei 26:11, and it says, ככלב שב על קיאו, כסיל שונה באיוולתו. Just like a dog returns to his own vomit, so does a fool repeat his own foolishness. So Shlomo HaMelech says a dog has a disgusting trait, which is true, by the way. I had a dog. That a dog, after, if he eats something that doesn't agree with his stomach, even though a dog is pretty much like a garbage vessel, I mean, he eats everything. But if something doesn't go right, he vomits it. But 5 minutes later, he'll come back to the vomit and eat his own vomit. And he sees nothing wrong with it. That's why he's a dog. Shlomo HaMelech says, just like the dog does something disgusting and eats his own vomit, the fool repeats his own foolishness. The fool will continuously make the same sin over and over. Yeah, but you know every time you yell at her, she doesn't want to talk to you for 3 days. Yeah, but you know every time you steal, they throw you in jail. Yeah, but you know every time you smoke pot, at the end you do cocaine. You know every time you invest in the market, you lose money. You know every time you start a business on your own with no partners, you lose. Same thing. Over and over you're doing. What, you like the dog that's going to eat his own vomit? Something wrong with you? Keep making the same sins. That's us, by the way, all the time. We're talking about us. We keep making the same sins over and over and over and over and over and over again. Chatanu avinu pashanu. But he even says, the one who thinks he's smart is even worse than this. This is the fool we're talking about. The fool is like the dog that keeps vomiting and eating it again. The fool keeps making the same sin. The guy that thinks he's smart is worse than him. Why? Fool, eventually he'll stop. The fool eventually is going to realize, you know what, at the end of it, this is vomit. At the end of it, he's going to run out of money. He's going to run out of words. At some point, he'll do partial tshuva. The guy that thinks he's smart, the guy that thinks he's his own rabbi, he'll never do tshuva. Why? He sees nothing wrong with it. He thinks he's right the whole time. That makes him dangerous. That makes him a danger to not only the people around him, but a danger to himself. Next it says, the Chacham, Shoel Keinyan Umeshiv Ka'alacha. This will be the last one for tonight because it's still very, very long. It says the Chacham, he asks relevant questions and he replies appropriately. Now, a good student, someone is a Chacham, He's going to ask questions that are relevant to what you're talking about. If you're talking about, let's say, for example, about Shabbat, he's not going to talk to you about, I don't know, Taharat Mishpacha. If you're talking about Parashat Noach, he's not going to ask you about the Kohanim. If you're giving him a chidush about how you can see literally science inside the Torah, he's not going to start asking you emunah questions. The two have nothing to do with each other. He's not going to expect you to connect the scientific aspect of it to emunah, or the emunah to the scientific aspect of it. It's two different things. A Chacham is not going to mix the two knowledges. Meaning that if you are providing logical proofs in regards to emunah, he's not going to ask you questions about theories. So again, there's a time and a place for everything. Whenever he asks a question, it has to do with the subject at hand. And many times you see, sometimes, I try to do my best to answer the questions. But sometimes you have, when we have a little bit bigger shiurim, there's more people. And so people raise their hand in the middle of the shiur. And I try to answer the questions usually. But sometimes I say, no, I don't answer the question. I'll answer it later on. I'll get back to you later on. Why? Because we're talking about something specific. And this person, his brain is like in Alaska. He has no correlation whatsoever to the shiur. We're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu, Parashat Shavua, MUSSAR, and so on and so forth. And he's thinking about Santa Claus or something like that. Do you think Santa Claus was real? Something like unrelevant questions. Like really, that if I answer that question, there's no problem answering the question. But the problem is, two things will happen. Number one, my train of thought will go there. And to go back to where I was is not too easy. Second of all, your train of thought will go there. And now we've changed the entire shiur. For me to do and go back, if you have enough experience, maybe you can, maybe you can't. Depends how much siyat nishma you have. But to have the entire crowd, why? Why put the whole shiur at risk for the Santa Claus question? Like sometimes you have people asking completely irrelevant questions about Mashiach. So you talk about, I don't know, whatever. We're talking about Mussar, doing tshuva, doing this, whatever we're talking about. And somebody asked me a question. Do you think that when the Mashiach comes, we're still going to be able to watch movies from Hollywood? What does this have to do with anything? You shouldn't be watching them now. You think you should be watching it when the Mashiach comes, when he can kill you with just words? You're going to watch a movie while you have somebody next to you that can kill you with words? You're going to watch people half naked on a movie screen? Where are you thinking? But if I answer the question, everybody else's mind's going to start thinking about movies. Oh, maybe we should watch a movie. Maybe the Mashiach is inside the movie. Maybe he's in Hollywood. Maybe, who knows where you're going to go with this question? So that shows this person is not a Chacham. This person's mind is somewhere else, but he's also inconsiderate. This is also a reminder to everybody to refrain from playing with your phones during Shiurei Torah, during anything relevant to Torah. Do not play with your phones. And even the people that are watching the shiur online, don't make comments. You want to make comments in the beginning, Chazaku Baruch, Hi Kvod Harav, from Alaska, from Zimbabwe, from Chicago, and so on. One comment, that's it. Don't start conversing with each other, start asking each other questions, and start answering each other's questions. Why? If you want to do that, go do it somewhere else. You're distracting to everyone else. Forget about the fact that you shouldn't be doing it anyway. You should be paying attention to the shiur, or else, why are you watching? It's not a threat for everybody to converse. It's a thread for you to watch the shiur. And you can say hi, and we can see, Baruch Hashem, that we have students from Alaska and Australia and different places. And you also have Satan coming in different forms. You have Christianity and Messianics, and sometimes Chabadniks that think that the Rebbe is Mashiach or God, and sometimes it's people that hate me because I told them the truth about wigs, and so on and so forth. The Yetzirah comes in different ways. But if you continuously go back and forth in the thread, not only are you not paying attention to the shiur, Even if you're hearing it in the background, that doesn't mean you're paying attention. This is not music. This is Torah. Not only you're not paying attention to the shiur, but on top of it, you're distracting to everyone else. Because now, like, whoa, there's something going on in the shiur, but there's some action on the thread. And where do you think the Yitzhak is going to get them to? They're going to, oh, look, the guy mentioned Jesus. Go, attack him. And then they start out, everybody forgot about the shiur. Everybody forgot about the shiur. And same thing with the phone. I must have said it on Sunday, maybe 7, 8 times. 7, 8 times I mentioned it. Stop playing with the phone. I'm specifically talking about one person. The guy wouldn't hear it. Mamash, he didn't realize. He keeps saying like this. And he's the one talking on the phone. The whole time he's on the phone. It's mamash. Like the Gemara says, a person does not see any wrong in himself. He thinks I'm talking about, you should stop talking about the phone. Stop. I understand these people who talk about this. Come on. What's wrong with you? It's you I'm talking about. People don't see wrong in themselves. Why? Person needs to understand Torah is something holy. If we're learning holy Torah, that means the Shekhinah is with us right now. Hashem is here. He's not like in the sky. He's here right now. Right here. He's with us. It says in the Gemara. People study Torah, even if 2 people study Torah, Shekhinah is right there. 3 people, Shekhinah is there. 5 people, Shekhinah is there. Learn Torah, Shekhinah is there. So if you knew it, now you can't see God. But if you knew He was here for sure, you still play on your phone? Oh, let me check my stock for a second. Oh, no, I'm talking Torah, I'm talking about Torah. You have to understand a few things. Number 1, if you're playing on your phone, you're not paying attention. Number two, you're distracting to everyone else. Why? You're getting their Yetzirah also to act. Why? You remind them they also have a phone. So now they're going to check their phone. They're going to check the text message. They're going to check, he's looking at the phone. The rabbi didn't say anything. So let me check the phone. All of a sudden you start, and everybody's taking out of their pocket. Everybody looks like everybody's dancing. You keep taking the phones out of the pocket. And last but not least part is you're distracting to the speaker. Because unlike what most people think, the speaker can see better than everyone else. Why? You're all looking in one direction. The speaker is looking everywhere. He sees everything. I'm right in front of you, Ribono Shel Olam. I see that you're not paying attention. I'm not blind. And again, I see that you're on the phone. And the guy's under the table the whole time. Like I'm blind. I don't know that his hands are under the table in an unusual way. What's wrong with you? And just pay attention, Ribono Shel Olam. It's a couple of hours, then you go back, play with your phone until next year for all I care. You're distracting. Why? The Rav is thinking what? What's the rabbi thinking? What's the speaker thinking? First of all, he's thinking about his subject at hand. But now he sees somebody on the phone, and it bothers him. Why? It's like, it's not interesting what I'm saying. It's not interesting. Why? If it was interesting, he wouldn't be on the phone. So now the Rav, or whoever the speaker is, he's thinking, I didn't study enough. This is not good. I don't have Sefer Nishmai today. You know what? Maybe I should quit. Maybe I shouldn't have a shiur. You think it's funny. It's not true. It's 100% true. You start thinking, if I was interesting, he wouldn't fall asleep. If I was interesting, he would actually do tshuva. If I was interesting, he wouldn't play on the phone. Why is he playing on the phone? It's my fault. It's not his fault. I'm boring. He's just doing what he has to do. There's a funny joke. One time, actually, Rabbi Zrachi says, it's a real story. A guy fell asleep in the middle of a shiur. Rabbi is giving a shiur, guy fell asleep. Now it's not lo kavod to have somebody fall asleep in the middle of a shiur. If somebody falls asleep in a shiur, somebody falls asleep during prayer, you have to wake him up. It's lo kavod. Shekhinah is there. Forget just the honor for the rabbi, it's disrespectful. The Shekhinah, Hashem is there. You can't fall asleep. So the rabbi saw the guy sleeping. Okay, once in a while, you talk for a little while. People fall asleep. He's skinny, they're tired, whatever, Yetzirah. So he lets him sleep for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. The guy's sleeping. He's sleeping already. He's already on his REM sleep already. The guy's already getting REM sleep. He's snoring and the whole neighborhood can hear. So he tells the guy next to him, goes, no, wake him up, wake him up. What does the guy say? You put him to sleep, you wake him up. You put him to sleep, you wake him up. But the reality, Rabotai, when someone sees you, someone's speaking, he sees you playing with the phone, he starts thinking, I'm not interesting, I'm not this. He starts having self-conscious issues. Now what happens? You're thinking, no, he'll get through it. What if he doesn't? Are you willing to take that on your tab? What if he doesn't? What if one day he has the Yetzirah, he says, you know what? I'm gonna cancel the shiur tonight. Why? Oh, yesterday I did a shiur. Half the people were on the phone. The other half was sleeping. What am I going to do a shiur for? You know what? I'm going to call in sick. Guys, tonight I'm not going to do a shiur. And that night, somebody was supposed to show up to do tshuva, online, in person, whatever, and now shiur is gone. Who do you think gets half of the punishment? Speaker is obviously not good. But the guy that led the speaker is partner in a sin. He's partner in a sin. Why? Instead of doing KIRUV, he did richuk. The opposite. Why? He's supposed to give the rabbi chizuk. He's supposed to give the rabbi encouragement to keep going. Not to show him you're not interested. That's why it was actually somebody was supposed to show up yesterday. He didn't stop playing with his phone. He did not stop playing with his phone every 5 minutes. He kept getting up, playing with the water, going to the bathroom, coming back, playing with the water. With the whole time he was there. And he was supposed to come tonight, and I couldn't wait to tell him something before the shiur. Please, tonight, if you're going to be here, just learn. Because I don't want to embarrass anybody in public. Even though you're allowed to in a situation like this, because it's distracting to everybody else. But yesterday I shut up, even though 2 hours I had to suffer with this guy. He was supposed to come. I didn't say anything. I said, tonight I'm going to have to say something because this cannot become a habit. It becomes poison. It becomes a cancer to everybody else. They come in, they feel like they're the only ones. They come into the room. Yeah, cookie. The guy's cooking steak. Is this? What? There's 25, 30, 50, 100 people also watching shiur. Why, you're the only one here. What they did? Everybody else is here too. 20 minutes entrance. 20 minutes entrance just to enter the place. 20 minutes. Ribono shel olam. Red carpet takes less time. The Halvai president. President of himself maybe. But the point is, Rabotai, you have to understand that this is a problem. When you're not conscious of the world around you. Now, to come back, this is why Rabbi Chia, in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat, page 3b, says, when a rabbi is engaged in studying one tractate of Gemara, never question him regarding a different tractate. What does it mean? What does it mean? What? Do you mean that right now I'm learning Masechet Shabbat? Don't ask me anything about Masechet Brachot. Don't ask me about Masechet anything else until I finish Masechet Shabbat. That may take another month, a year, 10 years. Who knows how long it's going to take? Don't ask any questions? No, that's not what it means. What it means is if right now I'm studying Masechet Shabbat, I'm in mush, if I'm really studying. Not if I'm superficially looking at it like it's a movie. If you're studying Masechet Shabbat, you're in it. You become part of the Masechet. You become part of the Torah. It becomes like your life. You start thinking in a different way. Don't start asking, hey, by the way, Tarat Mishpacha. What's the question? You remember? No. You ruined. Why? You stole my Torah just now. My train of thought was there. You just killed it. I was in Mount Sinai with Masechet Shabbat. You just took me to Sodom. Leave me alone. Rabbi Chia says, not allowed to do such a thing. If he's studying something, only ask him about that specific that issue. If he's finished and it's general Talmid Chacham, ask him anything you want. But at the moment he's actually studying, you have to be careful. Why? You have to be conscious of other people. Like we talked about on Sunday. Most important thing a person needs to do is not just be grateful, but also be conscious that their world around them has other people. They're not the only one there. You're not alone in the world. There's other people. Realize your question is not the only question in the world. Other people also have questions. Other people also have things to do. Other people also have problems. Other people also have solutions. Other people have also opinions. You're not alone. Once we start realizing we're not alone, things change. Tiferet Israel says something interesting. He says, a learned person, a Chacham, his intellectual honesty has one target. What's the target? Emet. He doesn't care about whether he's right or wrong, as much as he cares about whether it's emet or not. So such a person will only ask questions that are relevant. He's only going to ask questions and have discussions if it's relevant to get to the truth. He's not going to have an halachic discussion just to show you how much he knows, which is what you see very often. You start telling a guy something, he starts going on a completely different rant about something else because he knows it. He knows it, and he starts talking about it to show you his wisdom. Yeah, but I didn't ask you about this. I asked you about something else. No, but I know this. Isn't that impressive? It's no different than the guy that got the wrong answer. Said, aren't you impressed with the speed? How quickly I answered the question? Yeah, but it's a wrong answer. Tembel. It's the wrong answer. Says, likewise, he answers questions in the most straightforward response, rather than engaging in a display that may show you his wisdom, meaning that he's not going into like 50 different ways. What'd you ask? Allowed, not allowed? Allowed. If you want to know why, it's another question. It's allowed because do. But he's not going to tell you, oh yeah, in 1987, I read it in this book, but then it wasn't there. So in 1986, I actually remembered that it was in that book. And then, 91, December 6th at 6 a.m., I said something else, had nothing to do with it, but we're going to go to December 7th now. And he's giving you the whole story, the whole theatrics of how he got to the answer that he just figured out right now. Why? To show off his wisdom. No. The Chacham is only interested in getting to the emet. Not an exegetic display. He's only going to show you his straight thinking. Because his major concern is to discover or to show, to highlight the truth. We'll finish with a story. There was a story that was told to Rav Steinemann, alav shalom, and he was so impressed with the story that he told it to every single rabbi that walked into his yeshiva during that whole day. Someone told him that a problematic student was trying to enter a yeshiva, get accepted, and nobody wanted this kid. And he went to this big Chacham, or to his yeshiva, which you have to be a big Talmid Chacham to do it. Now he already knew the story, this guy's problematic and so on, but he wanted to help him out. And he said, okay, I'll ask you a question. If you know the answer, we'll let you in. So what do you think the question is? We're already thinking if it's Talmidei Chachamim, does he know the Iruv Tafshilin? Does he know the Tarat Mishpacha with the intricate details of how to tell if it's blood from the teeth, or it's blood from the uterus, or it's blood from just the damage? Is it this? Like, what do you ask him? He said, listen, what are you learning right now? I learn Gemara, Masechet Beitzah. Oh, okay, I'll ask you a Beitzah. I'll ask you a question. It wasn't exactly a genius, this kid, but you said you started learning Masechet Beitzah. Okay, I'll ask you a question, Masechet Beitzah. What do you do if the egg, the Beitzah, hatched on Yom Tov? If the egg hatched on Yom Tov, what do you do? What's the halacha? What do you do? And the unlearned person, the guy says, you make an omelet. The rabbi says, perfect answer. You're accepted. You're accepted. And there was other people there. They know it's wrong. It's omelet. That's the answer. That's what the Gemara is talking about, making omelets. What are we, a kitchen? What is it, a diner? That's the answer. So they go to K'vod Harav. He's like, K'vod Harav. The guy, you asked the guy an halachic question. You asked the guy a halachic question. If the egg hatches on Yom Tov, what do you do with it? And he said, make an omelet. I mean, the guy is in a different world, this guy. He goes, no. All I needed to do is find out if his head thinks straight. If he's an honest person. I asked him, what do you do with an egg that's hatched on Yom Tov? He told me honestly what he would do, which is he would make an omelet. That's an honest person. That means I can teach him Torah. As far as making him interested, and as far as giving him the right information, that's my job. I already knew he didn't know. But I want to know if he thinks straight. Is he going to make up an answer and tell me, oh, you know, and nah, and nee, and you start making up a whole thing? He's a liar, he has lies in his veins, or he's honest? He's going to tell me what he really thinks. He told me what he really thinks. That's the person I want to teach. That's the person I want to teach. Making him interested, making him informed, having the right answer, that's my job. That's the rabbi's job. And Rav Steinerman told this to every single Rosh Kollel he met. He said, what would you do? Would you accept this kid that told you he's going to make an omelet? Because that's the right answer. Accepting the kid that wanted to make an omelet. Why? All you need is a straight mind. You don't need to be a genius. All you need is a straight mind. I ask you a question, you tell me the answer. Right or wrong is irrelevant. The point is, are you honest? Are you intellectually honest? If you're intellectually honest, I can insert the right information in there. But if you're not, if you're a liar, doesn't matter what I tell you, you're going to change the answer anyway to whatever suits your needs. And that's what's happening with many people from different sects of Judaism, of all types of falsianity, whether it's Christianity or Messianics, or some idiots that call themselves open Orthodoxy, or Reform, or Conservative. All these people, everyone wants to make peace. There's no peace with terrorists. There's no peace with terrorists. People that take our Torah and pervert it are 100% spiritual terrorists. No peace with terrorists. They can call themselves whatever they want. If they take our Torah and try to change it, they are spiritual terrorists. There's no peace with them. And the reality is these people try to add halachot to the Torah because they like it better, because it suits their needs, because it makes more money, because it accepts everyone as equals. The Torah says everyone is not equal. There is no such thing as everyone's equal. There is no such thing. That's communism. Torah doesn't believe in communism. Everyone is not equal. A Talmid Chacham is higher than someone that's not Talmid Chacham. A rabbi is higher than a student. A father is higher than the child. A mother is higher than the child. It's a reality. Levi'im are higher than the Israel. And so on and so forth. There's no such thing as everyone's equal. Enough with this communist mentality. Everyone that perverts our Torah, they're only doing it because they care about one thing. Bank accounts. To teach someone Torah, all you need to know, are they intellectually honest? Not are they intellectual where they know all the information already. Are they intellectually honest? Meaning, you're going to provide them the right answer and they'll say, Kibalti, accept it. That's the answer, that's emet, finished. Finished. That's it. Not, yeah, but you know what? I understand what you're saying about Shabbat, but it doesn't really work for me. So can you change that? Can you change? It doesn't work for me. Can you change that? I understand it's Tarat Mishpacha, that's supposed to be with your wife for almost half the month, but I got a lot of desires. So can I just go with a prostitute? Like this Drol Kasuta says? You know, he says, go with a prostitute if your wife doesn't want to go. It's okay, it's fine, no? It's fine, no? Can I do it? Shtuyot, Rabotai. Can't change the Torah. We cannot change the Torah. We have a single Torah. Like it or not, that's the truth. Like it or not, that's the truth. If you're intellectually honest, Baruch Hashem, you can become a vessel to accept the Torah. Ashrecha. If you're a liar, you're a spiritual terrorist. That's it. There's nothing in between. I saw something that somebody sent me about these open orthodoxy people. Mamash, you see these people talk. If you have any level of truth in your blood, you can't listen to it for more than 5 minutes. Why? It's mamash, it kills you. It's like you see all shtuyot that they keep adding. They change the Torah and pervert it in such a way, you're like, why do you even bother to call yourself Jewish? The guy that leads it, this kofer, Shmuli something, kofer, gamur, where does he go? He know halacha from the Torah. You're not allowed to step into a church. You're not allowed to step into a church. Why? It's a place of avodah zarah. What does he do? He goes and he gives lectures in the name of God, in the name of Judaism, inside a church. And he wears his talit like a scarf. He wears his talit like a scarf. You know, talit, you're supposed to wear it like it's a cape of some kind on your head. He wears it like it's a scarf, and he gives a lecture to a bunch of avodah zarah. Saying, oh yeah, we're all one, we're all together, we should all go together, unison, 20,000 of us together. Okay, so go be a Christian then. Why are you tainting Am Yisrael? Why are you ruining us? Why? Why, you intellectual liar? Why? But they use nice words, and they. Rabotai, number one ingredient. Before we get to Yirat Shamayim, before we get to being Chachamim, before we get to anything, are you intellectually honest? It's an ingredient, a necessary ingredient for you to become a vessel to accept Torah. If you're intellectually honest, you're provided the truth, and you're going to deal with it accordingly, you're a vessel. If not, you have to go do tshuva somewhere else, I don't know, go smash your head against the wall a few times until you become intellectually honest, come back, we'll teach you again. But if you're a liar, I can't teach you anything. No one can teach you anything. Why? You'll change it into whatever you want anyway. What's the point? We're just grinding water. It's still going to stay water. Nothing's going to change. I'm going to tell you Shabbat, you're going to say it's Sunday. I'm going to tell you kosher, you're going to say tarif. Everything, if it doesn't fit or suit your needs, that's it. You know, finish. So what's the point? Why waste time? Why waste time? What, am I looking for fans? We're looking for YouTube hits, for likes. What are you doing? So that's the thing, Rabotai. It's very, very important to be spiritually honest and not just debate because we like for people to see us, hear us, and so on and so forth. This is not what the Torah is about. So, with that being said, it has a few other things for this Mishnah, but it's already late. Unless you have some pressing questions, we'll call it the night. Anything specific, important, critical, life-changing? I know as soon as I turn off the camera, there's at least 5. No, wait, 5? I'll count down from 10, 9, 8. Or is anybody on the internet that has something really critical, or is it... Everybody's tired already. It's the 4th lecture of the week. I think everybody's tired already by now. It's overload already. Too much Torah. Chas v'shalom. B'seder, B'ezrat Hashem, we'll have some more lectures next week. Oh, you should know, actually, by the way, B'ezrat Hashem, there's going to be a lot of traveling coming up. There's a lot of traveling coming up. I'm trying to set up a couple of trips, possibly to New York, to Canada. There's one trip that is confirmed. As far as the timing, I'm going to be away for almost a month during Pesach. We're going to California. We're going to be doing a lecture tour over there, B'ezrat Hashem, for about 3 weeks. So number one, if you have people that you know over there that want to set up shiurim and they can bring a lot of people, not 6, 7 people, like a lot of people, there's a lot of people there, Baruch Hashem, then let me know, we'll connect and we'll try to do a shiur over there. But even more so than that, you shouldn't miss any shiurim between now and then, because even between now and Pesach, I'm going to be gone for a little bit. So try to make it to every single lecture. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll continue learning, we'll continue this series, and continue doing tshuva and sanctifying Hashem's name. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen ve Amen.